Wait a minute, Roxanne. You just said that you would have been 10 minutes earlier.
Yes.
Except a guy was not driving in an express fashion in the new express lane.
Totally.
Now, first of all, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, so you got to tell me. Welcome, everybody. It is the MJ Morning Show. This is Q105. MJ with Fester and Roxanne. Froggy's out. I just saw this a little while ago. Froggy sent a text overnight that he threw his back out. I guess it was some heavy-duty puppy play at the house over the weekend. What the hell?
Puppy play.
What the hell? Fester, is your mic on? Dude, you're on the wrong mic.
I'm on the wrong microphone.
Dude, you're on mic 4.
How many microphones do I need?
Dude,
Did it feel different?
Hold on a minute. That's the short little. How do you not just move that out of the way?
I wish it was mic 4 all the time.
Wait a minute. How do you not know which mic to use?
Oh, the mic.
You're out for 2 days. You take the family over to the Cape over to Cape Canaveral for 2 days, and you forget what mic you sit in front of.
2.5 days.
Oh, jeez.
And
unbelievable.
yeah, I did. All right, I'm back. Yeah, a lot of puppy play at Froggy's house. I needed him this morning,
Dude,
too.
I'm concerned, man. How do you grab the little short, tiny mic there instead of the normal mic that you sit right in front of?
The little short dwarf
Fester's
mic.
over here talking. Fester's talking.
I'm like, this isn't on.
Yeah, well, because your the right mic was on, mic 3.
The leprechaun mic 4, actually fits better in my mic position than mic 3.
Well, it's guest mic 4, which they jammed in here because not only does our studio suck,
Yes.
is this the worst studio I've ever worked in my entire broadcast career. Ever. No, seriously, ever. We also didn't have enough microphones. So, like, when we had a guest in, like Froggy or Fester or Roxanne had to walk away. They had to leave the show.
Yeah. No big deal.
I mean, what the hell is... So I had to beg for another microphone to be put in, which finally it was.
And it's jammed in the most inconvenient spot, however, we do have one.
Well, because this studio is the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. All right, anyway, so...
Roxanne comes walking down the hallway complaining about this morning's traffic, and she's like, I left my house early. I would have been here 10 minutes early. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? And then she says, express lane, and then we come on the air.
So I need to understand what's going on here because I'm not on the Veterans Expressway very often. You are because you come from the West Chase area. So what are you talking about? Some dude was in, tell me about the new express lane.
Okay, unless I'm the least observant person on the planet, which could be true, the new express lane was available today and it wasn't available on Friday. I don't recall it being available Friday. So I don't know if it debuted today.
Do we need to have someone call in to confirm that there is a new express lane on the Veterans South?
I was in it this morning.
So this express lane didn't exist for the last, 6 months or year. This is the debut
well,
weekend.
hold on. What do you mean the last 6 months or year? Sounds like forever. Sounds like the express lane never... It was there about a year and a half ago, but then they took it away.
No, what I'm saying is it hasn't been out for 6 months. It's not like it's new-ish and Roxanne's just realizing it.
All right, you know what? Let's go to early phones here. Is there a new express lane, and where did you pick this thing up? What road?
So I picked it up somewhere after Gun-ish. Yes,
somewhere
Gun Highway.
after Gun Highway-ish.
Yes, and so I got on it. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay.
Let me give out the number quickly.
Yes, please.
All right. Is there a new express lane on the Veterans Expressway South, or is Roxanne high on that mushroom powder that she bought from some seedy vendor online last week? All right. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Can you confirm or deny that there is some type of a new express lane on the Veterans Expressway South? 800-990-1047. Okay, so what happens?
So I get on. I say, okay, I'll try this because it's got to dump you off before Pat George just came into the room and is looking at me.
Wait, what's going on?
Hold on, Pat.
Go ahead, Pat.
All right, grab Froggy's mic because he's not here.
How long has this been here? And I just haven't noticed it.
He threw his back out.
The phones. It's been there for 2 years.
Yeah, about to say, MJ.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at news articles here.
Pat, you're a broadcaster. Talk closer to that microphone.
It's been there for 2 years.
Right.
Wait. No, guys.
You need the lane with the cones or like the poles.
Guys.
It's been there forever.
Forever, Roxanne.
How many brain cells did I kill this weekend?
MJ,
Oh my God.
that's why I said it.
Yeah, listen, the phones are ringing too.
Has it not been here a long time?
Hang on. Let's go to phones.
Listen, from Gun High, I swear.
Hi, good morning. Who's this?
Swear.
My name is Todd.
Oh, hey, Todd.
Hey,
Welcome
Todd.
to the MJ Morning Show. All right, is there a new express lane that Roxanne just discovered this morning?
She just discovered it because it's been there for almost 2 years now.
Oh,
North
my,
and southbound.
my God, North. I know I've been on the.
I know there's one. No. I know there's one northbound, but the southbound one.
2 years.
I mean, I see articles from the Tampa Bay Times from 2020. I see an article from 2018 when they were planning these lanes.
Okay. Did they put cones up recently?
No, they have those little. They're like plastic
The highway
sticks.
marker
Yeah, highway marker plastic sticks. You know, now that I think about it, yes, I don't typically get in the express lane, but I have seen both express. I'm not on the veterans much, and if I'm on the veterans, I'm really off at like Hillsborough or Independence. That's kind of like where I don't go.
You don't
further
even,
north.
You don't even
really.
get into the veterans part of the Veterans Expressway.
No, it's not often that I'm taking the veterans up to Gun Highway or every once in a while, about once every month and a half, or I'm at Costco, and Costco's off a line bar, and Roxanne. Now that I think about it, no, that's been
It's always been there.
Now that
the
I
one
think.
going north has always been there.
No, hold on. I got Todd on the phone. Todd is saying it's been there for 2 years. The newspaper articles are saying, all right, Todd, do you have any advice for Roxanne who drives this every morning and just discovered that express lane?
Just keep driving it now that she knows that it's there. I use it every chance I get.
All right. Hey, Todd, thanks for listening to the show. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Have
Thanks,
a great
Todd.
day. All right,
that's
now.
been there a while. It's been there so long that the traffic sticks are looking weathered because they've been hit by so many cars. It's been so many
Hold
years.
on.
Do I just
What do you mean weathered? There's some of them are smashed down. I'm sure. it's more than weathered.
Weathered
is when the hot Florida sun beats down on them all day long.
They all have,
when
like-
cars smash into them. It's not called weathered. It's called they are destroyed or they're bent like they've got like highway traffic marker Peyronie's disease or something. All right. So Roxanne, what's the problem? So you get in the express lane, which you think is brand new that they opened up on Friday or since Friday, but it's really been there for 2 years. So what is the problem with you in the express lane this morning?
Okay,
You would have been here 10 minutes
Yes.
earlier, but
I need to back up a step. Got in my car this morning, realized I only had 20 miles until I was going to run out of gas.
Oh, my
so I had to
God.
stop and do a splash and go. It was the biggest splash and go ever because there was someone standing, a couple feet away from me screaming at me. This guy was. So I got a little nervous.
wait a minute, a guy screaming? What is
Yes.
going on in your life this morning?
Yes.
So you had to put in like a couple of gallons
2.5
quickly?
gallons. 2.5 gallons.
A
That's
splash and go at the gas station
So
because
I-
you were almost out of range, and then a
Right.
guy is yelling at you at the gas station?
Yes, like screaming. Like it wasn't like mean yells.
What was he yelling?
Like that.
Who does
And I
that?
just gave him he had a backpack on. He was a couple feet away, and I was just like, "Good morning, good morning," and then
hell
I'm
is
getting
going
out of
on?
here. And then maybe that's what threw me off because then I'm like, "Great, I'm going to be late now." And I just never use that
You
express
get in
lane.
the
I always stay in the far right. I guess.
End the story. You get into the express lane
Yes, I get
that
into
you
the.
think just appeared, and what happens?
I'm behind a guy in the express lane going 45 from Gun until the Clearwater exit.
Oh my
my
God. That adds
And-
like 15 minutes on your trip just by
It
not
does.
going the
You know
speed
what?
limit.
Florida law, if they're doing that much under the speed limit in the express lane, you're allowed to ram them.
I think
No,
I
seriously,
should
you're
have.
about to ram their rear. Yes, you're
Pit
allowed to.
maneuver
Yeah.
would be appropriate at that point. Just like you hit him right in his rear quarter panel and spin him out.
All right, one more call here before I take the break. We're running late already at 6:09. Hi, good morning. Who's this?
This John.
Hey, John, go ahead. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
So the only thing that has changed on the expressway, I noticed it the other day, the little dividers. It appears like some of the old ones they pulled out and they put some white ones in that are
Thank you.
nice and shiny. So it gives it the appearance of maybe it's new.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on, but still, hey, great observation, John, in Odessa. Thank you, buddy. But still, now that's your justification? They put in some new markers, apparently?
Look, Fester's
it's
using the
brand
wrong
new.
microphone. I don't recognize the road I'm driving on.
MJ, I said a little bit ago that the other ones, and you pointed out they're near destroyed, so they add new ones, and it just reinvigorated Roxanne's sense of.
That's called regular maintenance, not a whole new lane. Wow. Unbelievable. And, and Froggy's pulled out back is taking second fiddle to that. All right, hang on. Back in a minute. Just getting rolling. It's going to be a great Monday here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. We're back in minutes. everybody. My name is MJ. I'm here with a guy named Fester. I'm here with a woman named Roxanne. We would typically be here with a guy named Froggy. However, Froggy texted the group this morning that he yanked his back out again. We don't know the details. I don't understand the whole. I know that there are people with back problems. I'm not minimizing that. I know that there are people that are just totally laid up and they crick their back or they yank it. I get it. I know there are folks, I've known people like they can't move. They're like immobilized. They're incapacitated. Oh, and by the way, I got a text message during the last segment with Roxanne's brand new discovery of a traffic lane on the Veterans, the express lane, which has been there for 2 years, which she thinks just got put in since Friday. The little markers, those things are called delineators.
Delineators.
Yeah, so for the express lane, when you have those like little plastic like marker sticks that offer a boundary for the express lane, those little stand-up plastic poles, those are called delineators.
So they freshened up some of the delineators, and that's what threw me.
Look at Fester's on Google right now, and he typed in traffic delineators, and
a bunch of them come up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're called.
there they are.
So you can run over those, right?
You can buy orange ones. You can buy yellow ones. You can buy white ones.
Now, on the Veterans, they have white ones.
Hold on. Roxanne, did you say you can run over them?
Are they really going to mess up your car really bad if you...
They'll scuff them up. Yeah, if you hit even though they're plastic or some type of a composite material, and they're not like metal poles like in the front of Wawa or 7-Eleven or Circle K, those orange,
Right.
The yellow.
Reinforced with concrete.
those have a special name,
Those
too.
are called bollards.
Bollards, that's right.
Those are called, sounds like it's a department store. Yeah, honey, I'm going down to Bollards. They got a big sale down at Bollards. I think that's right next to Dillard's. Do they have Bollards at Dillard's?
Yeah, the Bollards family and the Dillards family, big rivals.
A lot of times the malls have them so people can't like drive through like the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
A lot of times they have, hang on a sec, did I say Blues Brothers? Yes, I did. And this is the music in the mall scene. Excuse me. Do you have a Miss Piggy? That's enough. All right, where was I? Oh, so they're called delineators, and those will mess up your car. Now, Roxanne, they're not fluffy like cotton balls.
Okay.
So they are a rigid plastic. And if you ram into those, it's not going to total your front end, but it's going to scuff you up pretty good.
It's not going to flatten your tires like if you were driving out the wrong way of a rental car place.
Which you did in California?
Arizona.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You drove where it says "Do not enter. Severe tire damage will be caused," and you drove right over those metal spikes.
And I heard all the pops, and I thought it was gunfire, and I hit.
Like that?
Yes.
The sad thing is she's not the only person I know who's done that.
What car rental place? Hold on to that thought. What car rental agency was it?
If I had to guess, it was Avis. Avis comes to mind. Yeah.
So who else has driven over those spike? What are those things called? They're spikes. It's like, so, when you leave like a rental car place, you can drive out because the spikes flatten down in the direction of your travel. But if you try to go in the wrong way, they'll just spike your tires to hell. Who else drove over those spikes?
Didn't BJ drive through them like at a hotel in Los Angeles? Didn't we have to pick him up from the hotel because his car had 4 flat tires?
Oh, yeah.
Because he went into the exit.
Oh, you're right.
And BJ's like,
I think it was at the Century Plaza Hotel or something, wherever the hell. You're right. Was that when we made the Judge Joe Brown trip, or was that a different trip?
We were out there for a bunch of things.
We did.
And it'd be Fester, BJ. Hey, BJ. Hey, pick me up from my hotel. I have 4 flat tires. I was like, how do you have that? Don't ask.
I forgot. But I wasn't with you.
No.
Yeah.
Because you had your own car.
You and Joey B went to pick him up, I think.
Yeah, me, Joey B, I think in Hurricane.
Did you have Dave the Dwarf with you? Was that a Dave the Dwarf trip? Was that where I left Dave the Dwarf at the security booth at CBS Television City, right near the Price is Right line? Was that trip?
It might have been. That was you on that TV show, Hollywood Squares.
Oh, that's right. It was not The Price is Right. I was on the Hollywood Squares Radio Week edition. Remember that?
Vaguely, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, little fact for you here, the Hollywood Squares, when that was in syndication, and I'm not talking about the old Hollywood Squares, I'm talking about when they had the revitalization back in the mid-90s and early 2000s, that Hollywood Squares show was taped at CBS Television City in Hollywood in the same exact studio, on the same exact stage as The Price is Right. It was the exact same studio. Because when they would just roll all the Price is Right stuff, all that crap would be just rolled away. So I'm backstage at the Hollywood Squares, and all the Price is Right stuff was all back there. All the games, the wheel that goes, all that stuff was back there. And they just roll the Hollywood Squares thing on, and that's how they roll.
That's cool.
And I was there because I was invited for Radio Morning Show Week. And they had a whole week of shows where they had, like, it wasn't just morning shows. It was like radio personalities from different markets from all over the country. And, you know, the whole deal there was that they wanted to jack up their ratings in syndication. So what do? How do you potentially jack up your ratings for a TV show? You bring in morning shows and top radio personalities from big markets from all over the country. And of course, all those shows are going to talk about their appearance on the Hollywood Squares. It runs tonight at 7 on channel whatever, or 7:30, in primetime access before primetime hits. So that's the deal. So they brought in all these shows. It was like a whole week or 2 weeks worth of shows, and we went out there, and I did it. BJ didn't do it, but we all went out for the trip. So I was the contestant on the Hollywood Squares. And who was the host? It was that nice guy that did Dancing with the Stars. What's his name? The host of Hollywood. Yeah, Tom Bergeron.
Tom Bergeron, yeah.
Tom Bergeron was the host. And, there's even a great picture of Dave the Dwarf with Whoopi Goldberg. Because Whoopi Goldberg was in one of the boxes. She might have been center square back then. So Whoopi Goldberg and Dave the Dwarf have a phenomenal picture together. I have it in my collection. And I spoke to Dave the Dwarf over the weekend.
I've never seen that picture.
Yeah, I got to mention Dave the Dwarf. I spoke to Dave over the weekend. Dave feels a little slighted.
Why?
Yeah, he said that he didn't have a problem with us bringing in Shorty Shane, but it's a problem. But Dave's in a physical condition where he can't run around at O'Keefe's anymore, on a Friday night for a big St. Patty's Day celebration, which, by the way, Shorty Shane was a major hit at O'Keefe's.
I saw the pictures of it. I saw the pictures. Yeah. And he was the best looking leprechaun I've ever seen.
His leprechaun outfit he outdid himself. He had an amazing leprechaun outfit. All right, so where was I? Was I headed somewhere else?
We're talking about Roxanne running over stop strips.
Yeah, but then we got into game shows.
I don't know where we were.
Well, I'll tell you where I wanted to be, and that was March Madness.
Yeah.
That there was a whole new round of upsets over the weekend. I'm looking at some website where it says, we track all the upsets. What website is this? Some kind of website.
I'm sure a bunch of them tracked the upset. And this was a big upset weekend. I'm not Mr. March Madness.
Hang on a minute. It's the NCAA website.
They do a pretty good job of tracking.
Yeah, that would be the authority to go to for all the scores and latest updates.
No, but they have a story here, and the headline is, we're tracking every upset in the NCAA men's tournament. And I guess over the weekend, the biggest upset
Kansas.
is the Jayhawks.
No. Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No.
The biggest upset I thought would have been number 1 Purdue.
Well, Kansas is number 1. They fell to 8 seed Arkansas.
Yeah, wait a
Purdue
sec.
fall to?
Jayhawks were number 1.
Oh my God.
Kansas.
Do you guys not know how March Madness
hold
works?
on a second.
Yes, we do.
Hang on.
More than
Hang on. Hold on.
Yes, I know.
There's 4 number 1 teams.
All right, well, see, I don't know about this
Okay,
crap.
so he doesn't, Rob.
All right,
Okay.
so hang on a minute. Andrew, you said it first. What did you say? There are 4 number 1s?
Yeah, in each quarter, there are 4.
In each bracket,
So there's
whatever.
Yes.
All right.
1 through 16 in four divisions, and then that leads to the final 4.
I guess what I'm saying that the Jayhawks, the Kansas Jayhawks, weren't they projected to win it all?
Yes, they were.
That's why I was saying
Yeah.
that they were the biggest top seed to fall.
Another number 1 seed,
Yeah.
Purdue, lost to Fairleigh Dickinson on Friday.
Fairly ridiculous.
Did you not know this?
No, I did because
Okay, 'cause-
the nickname for Fairleigh Dickinson. Well, I've always heard it's fairly ridiculous. My uncle went there, by the way. My uncle Jack Schnitt. Yes, I know Jack Schnitt.
Yes.
So, that's true. I swear to God. I swear. All right. So
A guy named Jack Schnitt has a degree from Fairly Ridiculous.
but they call it Fair Dick. They do. The nickname or the abbreviated it's Fair Dick for Fairleigh Dickinson, which is a northern New Jersey university just outside of the New York City metropolitan area. And so Fairleigh Dickinson beat whom?
Purdue.
Okay.
Which was the number 1
Okay.
team in their bracket.
So that was a 16 seed.
So
Yeah.
you've got Purdue has fallen. You've got the Jayhawks from Kansas have fallen.
Yes. So a lot of big upsets.
You've got Michigan State beat Marquette.
Yeah.
Which
Marquette was a number 2 team.
Princeton beat Missouri.
That was on the first day. So, yeah. A bunch.
Arkansas Razorbacks beat the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, look at that. FDU stuns Purdue. So, and the world. That's what the headline says. It says that Fairleigh Dickinson University stuns Purdue and the world. So all these brackets, most of the brackets were already smashed anyway.
Yeah.
Because there were some ridiculous upsets that we talked about last week. So as of last week, after the first opening rounds of games, something like 700 brackets remained perfect, and like 22 million brackets were already busted. So now, whatever was left, I don't think there's any remaining bracket. Could there?
That can't be.
Hey, Andrew, can you look that up? Because I know there got to be stories out there. Are there any remaining perfect brackets?
I know that even on a year where brackets don't get busted like this early on with these big upsets, you're more likely to have you and 3 of your family members struck by lightning on separate occasions than you are to win have a perfect bracket.
So struck by lightning, you forgot something. It's struck by lightning and win Powerball twice in the same day. All right, let me take a quick break here. We're running late. I've got early morons in the news next, and it's good. With a name like Morons in the News, it's gotta be good. Hang on, we're back in a second. My friends...
has such a long intro. You can actually play morons in the news.
That could have been the morons in the news rejoiner, but instead I wanted to play this. There we go. This is more like some morons in the news rejoiner music right here on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Andrew, can you just eject that song? That song shouldn't be there every morning. Just take it out. Yeah, the 6:39 rejoin, that song gets dropped every morning anyway. Just take it out. Yeah. Just remove it. All right, so now, this is more like morons in the news rejoiner music.
Yeah.
Andrew told me during the break that there are 0 brackets remaining. I guess it's the NCAA official bracket entries. There are 0. There are no remaining brackets intact after all of the upsets over the weekend. Nothing, nada, 0, zilch.
Zip.
Well, thank
Watch
you.
out, Zip.
Roxanne's right. I mean, she's
Thank you, Roxanne.
keeping the trend going of Z.
All the Z's.
All the Z's.
Goodbye, Z's.
Early morons in the news. What is this? A woman from Maine under arrest. She called in fake threats at a Walmart in Maine. 11 a.m. on Saturday, officers from Seabrook, Maine, received a report of a possible explosive device inside the Walmart. Soon after, officers reported that somebody called the police department directly, claiming a man in the store had a gun. Officers evacuated Walmart and nearby stores to search the store. They called in the New Hampshire State Police bomb squad. All right, hold on a minute. This happened in Maine, and the Maine State Police, the Maine local police, they call in the New Hampshire bomb squad. They don't have a bomb squad in Maine?
I mean, those states are very small. Sometimes they might share resources.
Oh, really? Are you an expert on sharing resources? Usually states don't really, unless there's a major emergency. I don't think many states share police. When you're dealing with 2 different states, I would think that the law enforcement delineation is fairly clear.
What town did this happen in?
In Seabrook, Maine. So I'm guessing it's very close to the New Hampshire border, but still, you just don't think of another state's police agency calling in a whole different state's bomb squad. So they evacuated the Walmart. The Maine police call in the New Hampshire State Police bomb squad.
You keep saying Maine police, and I keep thinking that you're saying, like, the Maine police, that,
The primary.
I don't know. I don't want
the primary
The
police,
primary
not
police.
the secondary
No,
police.
It's Maine, M-A-I-N-E, the state of Maine. So the department reported they didn't find any threats. Upon our arrival, we quickly determined there was no man with a gun inside Walmart. That was number 1. Okay, that's the spokesperson for the Seabrook, Maine Police Department. Walmart was evacuated. Then they did a sweep of the Walmart to determine there was no bomb inside. There was no device inside the Walmart, which I got questions about this. How many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of items are inside a Walmart? So,
Oh my God!
do you really know? I mean, how do you really say there's no bomb inside? Did you open up every single box? Did you look behind every single item on every shelf? So how do you know
Every shelf?
there's no bomb inside? How do you know that? So the New Hampshire State Police bomb squad, their bomb disposal unit, I guess they were able to do a sweep. They said no threat, no bomb, no device inside. The store opened for business again at 1 p.m. So wait a minute. 11 a.m., 1 p.m. is when the store reopens after the 11 a.m. threat. You're telling me that you can clear a Walmart in 2 hours with a huge Walmart with all the crap inside?
All right, I think I have a clarification, MJ.
Yeah, what's that?
You said a Maine woman is facing charges.
Right.
However, Seabrook is a town in New Hampshire.
Oh.
It's not Seabrook, Maine.
That's
It's Seabrook, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. Well,
We
thank
knew there
you.
was something to
These
it.
very small, fairly insignificant states.
Okay. All right. So my supposition of that sounds crazy why a Maine Walmart would have a New Hampshire bomb squad. Okay. The woman is from Maine.
No.
I guess it's the way I read it. So it's a Maine woman that crossed the border from Maine into New Hampshire and then issued all kinds of bomb threats.
Seabrook is actually bordering Massachusetts state
What
line.
the hell?
I mean, these are small states. I mean, you could walk it in 15 minutes.
Well, you can't, but because Chloe goes to school in New Hampshire.
She can make it from like side to side in like an hour.
All right, so I've botched up my geography here.
Boy, did you.
But the crux of the story remains accurate, I guess, that this woman calls in bomb threats, calls in guy with a gun. Yeah, the store opened for business again at 1 p.m. These were hoax calls. And then the woman was arrested. They found the suspect behind the hoax threats at a nearby Best Western hotel. And Megan Levitt, 38, of Alfred, Maine, has been charged with false reports as to explosives, false reports to law enforcement, false public alarm, criminal threatening, possession of a controlled drug. So I guess she probably had some prescription medication or some kind of illegal medication without a prescription. Or if it was totally illegal, there's no prescription for cocaine, right? As far as I know. But this is bizarre. So, but the reason why I'm doing this in Morons in the News is very simple. The reason why I'm doing the story, the woman called in the bomb threat in front of her Uber driver.
Oh.
On
That's-
her
Yes.
speakerphone.
Yes. Well, I mean, but listen, even if it was a speakerphone or not, the driver can hear her talking. But she had the phone on speaker.
No,
So-
speaker's an interesting layer because hold on, driver, I'm on the phone. Hello, police? Yes. I'm outside the Walmart right now.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry
You're
for
both sides.
I'm sorry for botching the geography of the Maine woman who called in the threat to a New Hampshire Walmart that's near Massachusetts, right? But the main reason, the main reason why I did the story is this jackwagon, this woman, she's in the back of an Uber and she's calling in the bomb threat and the man with the gun threat from the back seat of the Uber. And yes, it happened to be that she was on speaker, but even if she wasn't on speaker, you still can hear her calling in the bomb threat.
Yeah, but she could have been joking around with some friends. That's just how they talk to each other,
Hey,
talking
girl.
code.
Hey, yoga, what
You're
you
the bomb.
doing? Yes.
Yeah,
I have a bomb in soft lines.
I'm going to threaten you with my bomb.
I mean, this is unbelievable. Who commits a crime and calls in a bomb threat in front of an Uber driver?
Well, she had a good reason to. She had a really good reason to.
If the Uber driver turned her in, that would definitely affect his rating. I mean, if I were
You don't think she'd leave a 5-star rating for the Uber driver? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he was prompt. He was courteous. He did turn me into authorities for committing a felony. I got to give him 2 stars.
You know why she did it, though, right, MJ?
Tell me why.
Because her boyfriend was about to be arrested at Dick's Sporting Goods across the street.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was trying to distract.
Yeah, diversion.
Yeah. We got some crazy freaking people. People are out of their minds to call in a bomb threat in front of an Uber driver is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of in my life. All right, let me tell you something else that's dumb. If you do this at a Civil War reenactment, you're a dummy. I will tell you, look at Fester's, his wheels are turning trying to figure out what's going on
I
here.
had a Civil War reenactment encounter once.
Yeah, have you seen Blackbird, the Apple Plus TV series or Apple TV series? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Do you have Apple TV?
I have Apple TV.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, you've got. All right, hold on to that thought because there's a whole Civil War reenactment deal that comports with the story I'm about to tell next. That, and we're going to bring it a little closer to Florida here because another drive-through gun issue with a customer versus the drive-through employee, and it's another Florida story right here. Another Florida morons in the news. We'll bring it back closer to home next. Stand by on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. If you... Morning Show on Q105. Fester, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Folks, I don't have time to do this here, but we have plenty of time coming up. Fester is making a play on something, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
It's not yours to be comfortable with or without.
I told you what I wanted to do with it.
Tough luck. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not yours to do what you think you want to do with it. It's not.
We have an issue. Folks.
How is this an issue?
It is an issue.
Oh my God.
Folks, we have an issue. We'll deal with this in the next segment. I gotta finish up with the McDonald's gun issue. I've got to deal with this Civil War arena. I got two little gun things we got to talk about.
Yeah.
And then I just found out that you've got Apple TV and you haven't seen Blackbird?
I haven't seen a lot of things on Apple TV.
Dude, but you're paying for Apple TV?
No, because I buy their phones. You get a year or two. I have a couple of years worth of Apple TV. Yeah, I've never paid for it.
Dude, you're missing out on a limited series that was just enormous. I don't have, well, hold on. I'll segue into it. First of all, what time is it? 7:03 here on a Monday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the MJ Morning Show. Hey, just a quick little programming note that if you listen to the MJ Morning Show every morning and you like what you hear, make sure you bring us into the office with you. So if you're listening to us in the car and then you get to work and then you don't listen anymore, imagine what you are missing every day. So there are so many ways to listen to us once you get into the office. Obviously, a conventional radio, tune to Q105 at 104.7 FM, or listen on your phone. Just get any of the apps that are out there, whether it's the TuneIn app, the Odyssey, AUDACY app, the iHeart app, and you just do a search for Q105 Tampa, and boom, we're suddenly coming out of your phone. It is that easy. Or your desktop computer. You get to work, you got a desktop, just go to mjmorningshow.com, and Fester, go to mjmorningshow.com. And there was a top right, the whole listen live thing. You can listen live right on your computer speakers or a smart speaker. If you've got the smart speaker deal, just go ahead and click on that. Yeah, I mean, if you go to mjmorningshow.com and right at the very top right, there's a big red button that says listen live. You click that, boom, over your computer, smart speaker, or on your phone. So keep listening to the MJ Morning Show for the entire show, because if you like what you hear when you listen, imagine all the crap that you're missing. You're going to like us even more. So thank you. All right, on to a Florida drive-through story. Why does it seem, what are you laughing at?
I just went to the Listen Now feature at mjmorningshow.com.
Yeah.
And it says the songs that we've recently played.
Yes.
I'm just laughing because we played a song at 6:58.
Yeah, we just played Do You Believe in Love by Huey Lewis and the News.
And then the Aha song that you kind of fake fired.
I fake fired that at 6:40.
That registered.
Because there wasn't supposed to be a song there. It was
You heard a little snippet of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
35 seconds of Aha.
mjmorningshow.com, super easy to find.
Yeah. So thank you. And we do appreciate all of our listeners. Now, I don't know what it is, but it seems that there is some type of a confrontation with a gun at a drive-through for a fast food restaurant here in the state of Florida. It seems like it's multiple times a week. But why would you, and this is just baffling to me, why would somebody risk their freedom over an order at a drive-through window? Why would you potentially put yourself into state prison for years over an issue on a menu at a fast food restaurant? Case in point, let me give you the details. This is why I call them morons in the news. The woman's name is Quavi Young, and she's now facing all kinds of felony charges. Why? This is over on the other side of the state. This is over in Cocoa. This is very close to where Fester just was with the family over the weekend.
Yeah.
Fester took Thursday and Friday off in the weekend. You guys hung out at the, Cape Canaveral? And
we went to Kennedy Space Center.
Yep.
We got to see a launch on Friday night.
Awesome.
And, and we were in Cocoa Beach on Wednesday night.
Well,
Did you see
Quavi?
What restaurant was it?
McDonald's?
I think we drove past
You
it.
probably drove right by this exact restaurant. This is in Cocoa. And a woman was arrested Thursday night. You were there.
I don't know that I saw Quavi, though.
A woman named Quavi Young was arrested on Thursday night. And this is why it's morons in the news. She brandished a gun at the McDonald's drive-thru, pointed the gun at an employee. Why? They were having an argument over a non-existent menu item. The woman is trying to order a special menu item that they don't even have this configuration on the menu. So she pulls a gun. Now, Fester brought up her booking image, and does she have like creepy vampire contact lenses? Look, you ought to see Roxanne's face. Hey, hold on. Hey, Andrew, take Roxanne's camera.
She's in shock.
That's Quavi.
That's Quavi.
I'm scared over here. I feel like she's putting a spell on me from the computer.
All right, we're going to put the image up. And I didn't know that Fester, I was about to bring this up. I was about to say, wait till you see this lady's booking image. Wait till you see the mugshot on this woman. We will get the image up via the story. We'll get it up on mjmorningshow.com in stories mentioned in just a few minutes. But you've got to see this picture. She looks like she is demonically possessed. She's got something going on with her eyeballs, and it almost looks like she has those like monsterish contact lenses in.
Yeah, but she is pretty. She's almost like demon chic.
She's demon chic?
Yes, like if the devil had a mistress, it would be Quavi.
Yeah.
All right, we will get the mug shot up at mjmorningshow.com and stories mentioned in just a bit. Here's the rest of the story. She brandishes a firearm. She got into an argument with the McDonald's employee because she was trying to order some kind of a combo meal deal that just doesn't exist. So there's no way to ring this up. The affidavit from police over in Cocoa, they described the responding officers were told by witnesses after arriving to find that Quavi Young, 26 of Cocoa, was behind the wheel with a gun in the passenger seat. The gun was a 9mm M&P Shield, but it had a drum magazine that's capable of holding 50 rounds.
Wow, that's a lot of bullets for that gun, right?
So Channel 6 in Orlando, they called the McDonald's on Saturday, and it's at 927 Dixon Boulevard, to ask what happened. Why was this woman arrested after pointing a gun at the McDonald's drive-thru worker? They were informed that Quavi Young demanded a cheeseburger bundle. And they said it was a sort of combo. She thought that she could do a cheeseburger bundle that was something that was similar to something you do for McDoubles or McChickens. I don't know what that means, but if you're a very frequent McDonald's drive-thru menu customer, you might know what I'm talking about here. But she was refused because an employee said, I can't sell you a cheeseburger bundle because we don't have that availability. It's just not on the menu.
I thought bundles were like cell phone services.
Well, I think they can be. I think a lot of things can be bundled. So the employee at the McDonald's said, hey, I can sell you a cheeseburger and an a la carte order of fries instead. But there was no, I guess, whatever the bundle she wanted, it just didn't exist. They weren't able to ring it up. Whatever bundle she was looking for, it just didn't exist. So this occurred during the woman's second appearance in the drive-thru lane that day. According to the employee on the phone, when Channel 6 Orlando called, the employee described how things were a little busy in the drive-thru during the first encounter. The second time, the victim told police that Young pulled to the first drive-thru window after being told that she couldn't be served that bundle meal that wasn't on the menu. Once she was there, the victim asked Young what her problem was, and then that's when apparently Quavi Young said something like, you know what my problem is? And she pulls the gun and points the gun at the drive-thru employee because she couldn't get her cheeseburger bundle deal. What the hell?
You know, it's really an overreaction on everybody's part.
According to the affidavit, the victim then asked Young why she was so mad at a simple issue. Young pointed the gun, verbally threatening them and then went to the next window. When police arrived, officers also learned that Young did not have a valid driver's license. She faces charges of open carry of a weapon, knowingly driving with a suspended license, aggravated assault by pointing the gun at the McDonald's worker, and that's aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, and the last charge being a felony. And she was booked into, the county jail. And all this over a cheeseburger freaking bundle. I mean, what is wrong with people?
Well, it is frustrating when you feel like you know what you're talking about and someone else isn't really grasping what you're talking about. But it's no time to bring out a gun.
Roxanne, how do you risk your freedom? How do you do something so stupid by pulling a gun at a McDonald's worker? What goes through your head? How do you not understand boundaries? How do you not understand that if you get caught, you're going to prison? You're affecting your freedom. You're going to get locked up. What is wrong with these idiots? All right, now, the Civil War reenactment. And I'm telling you right now, Fester, I can't believe you have access to Apple TV. Didn't you hear me talk of it? You were here. Oh, maybe you were out.
No, I've heard you talk about this because it's like the mumble guy that changes his voice, right? You've talked about this show before.
No, he doesn't really mumble. He talks in a very soft voice.
Whatever it is. I've heard
this is Larry.
Well, people bury the dead with all sorts of things they can't use.
That's Larry from Blackbird. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is, and I've known people that have done the Civil War reenactment things, and sometimes they're a little weird.
Yeah.
Some of the Civil War reenactment people are a little off. That's just been my personal experience. Now, if you're into the whole Civil War thing and reenactments and you're not a weirdo, I apologize. Don't take it personally.
You're not apologizing to anybody because they're all weirdos.
It's just folks that I've known that collect Civil War stuff and they participate in like the reenactments. All the folks that I've known have been just a couple of clicks off. I'm just saying. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is if you're involved in a Civil War reenactment, make sure your gun's not shooting rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't pull an Alec Baldwin.
There you go. Now, they're still trying to determine what the projectile was, but this is out in California, Riverside County. They were called to a Civil War reenactment, a report of a man with a possible gunshot wound. They found the guy was struck with a projectile from an artificial firearm, not believed to be a live round, but something fired from this gun during the Civil War reenactment and injured somebody. No arrests have been made. Isn't it a good idea to make sure that whatever you're using in your Civil War reenactment does not actually shoot crap at the people that are involved in the reenactment?
It's a reenactment.
Yeah.
It's not an actual war.
It's not a realization or it's not reality. It's a reenactment. And the reason why I'm bringing up Larry from Blackbird is that the serial killer, Larry Hall, from this limited Apple TV series, Blackbird, he was into Civil War reenactments. He was a serial killer and also and he even had the Burnsides. He even had the Burnsides on his face. And I know what you're saying, MJ.
Yeah,
are you okay? What?
You're supposed to flip-flop it, aren't you?
Sideburns,
Sideburns,
Roxanne?
yeah.
But you know what?
What?
It's really Burnsides. Sideburns, that's the way that the name has morphed, but it's really Burnsides.
But people say sideburns.
Well, they do, but the real initial name for the sideburns were Burnsides, and this guy has like the real mutton shop looking things and everything.
So you're saying it the colloquial way, since we're talking about a historical reenactment.
But in the TV show Blackbird with Larry Hall, he calls them Burnsides. But the point I'm trying to make is, Fester, you got to watch this Blackbird. It is absolutely tremendous. It is incredible.
Who is it? Taron Egerton? Is that the star?
Well, he was the guy that was sent in to try to coax Larry. And then Larry is played by some comedian guy. He's incredible. I think he was also in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, whatever that show was. We saw a couple. That was pretty funny, too, but years ago. But Fester, I'm telling you, it's like 6 episodes, Blackbird with Larry Hall, the serial killer man.
Well, people bury the dead with all sorts of things they can't use. Watches, shoes, money. I remember one old gal, she got buried with a solid gold Siamese cat, like a doorstop, you know? She's dead. What does she need a doorstop for?
Dude, you've got to watch this thing.
That's a great point.
And I don't have Apple TV, but they sent me the code to watch online because I voted in the SAG-AFTRA Awards, so that's why Michelle and I watched that. Speaking of Michelle, I thought somebody sent me a very rude comment.
What?
Yeah, I took a picture with Michelle at dinner on Friday night, and just I thought something was very rude.
I saw the picture.
And I'll get to that next. Hang on. And then Fester, we got a little issue.
How do we have an issue?
Well, because I don't think what you want to do is right.
Oh, it's not up to you.
Hold on. We're going to have a little bit of a philosophical discussion.
This whole thing is bull right now. It's even gone this far.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, in minutes, we start the long chunk of the MJ Morning Show. We go an hour and 20 minutes nonstop next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. And a little taste of what's coming up. You do not want to miss the next segment right here. Let me tell you what else you know. Morning Show. It's Q105, 727, running a little bit late this morning. I'll make it up. This starts right now, the long chunk of the MJ Morning Show. Every morning, usually about 7:23, 7:24 on average, we start an hour and 20 minutes nonstop. No commercials, no music. It's nonstop MJ Morning Show content, and that begins right now. First of all, the Fester money issue. We've got a lot. There's this segment is going to be just nonstop. Just hold on, folks, because we're going to deal with a lot here. Got phone calls coming up. We'll explain why here on the MJ Morning Show. First of all, the Fester money situation. And listen, I don't want this to turn ugly. I just think we're in disagreement.
Well, that's fine.
And then we'll get into a comment that somebody made about a picture I took with Michelle on Friday night while we were at dinner with her family. And I'll explain coming up in a bit. First of all, Fester, why don't you recount for the audience listening right now to the MJ Morning Show, why don't you recount what you said to me within the last half hour off the air during a break? Why don't you recount what you said about that blank? I'm going to need that blank. And then you started asking me about a car I once owned.
Right.
So why don't you go ahead and let's fill our MJ Morning Show listening. Where did Roxanne go? She just disappeared?
I'm not sure where she is.
Roxanne has disappeared. Is she okay?
I don't know. I think I hear her coming.
Let's send the search party out.
Her chip. Here she is. I hear her coming.
So go ahead and explain what you just said to me a short time ago.
All right, well, there's a little bit of a backstory here. Listen, this has been a very tumultuous, 3 or 4 weeks with my car situation. My 04 Lincoln Town car has a busted transmission.
Because Fester made an egregious faux pas. Fester made a fatal mistake with his 2004 Lincoln Town car.
Right.
In that Fester changed the transmission fluid. He thought he was doing the right thing, but later found out you don't change the transmission fluid. In that car, that transmission, that old, when you change the fluid, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And Fester did it. A mechanic did it who didn't know what they were doing. Then another mechanic said, you what? You changed the transmission fluid in your 2004 Lincoln Town car. You've just wrecked your transmission. It's going to start slipping. And what? Like just a couple of weeks after you were told you shouldn't have done it, then your transmission just totally goes out, right?
It's been a couple of months, but I could feel it just reducing its efficiency.
But it was starting to slip, and then it was, it was making all kinds of grumbling and growling noises and revving. It wasn't kicking into gear.
See, if you change your transmission fluid every, 50,000 miles, then it's called maintenance.
All right, let's cut to the chase here.
But I did it once at 170, and it just totally crapped out.
Now Fester's car is useless. You can drive, 15 miles an hour in one gear?
All right, that's a little ridiculous. It's 35 miles an hour.
He can hit 35 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. What time do you have to leave for work?
He's got a rental car. He rented a long-term Hertz at the airport. He has a long-term, because he can't drive his car.
Yeah.
All right, now, Fester says, hey, you know that money?
I need that money from you.
I'm going to need it.
I'm going to take that money now.
I'm going to need that money. And what Fester is referring to, and if you're watching MJ TV right now, I'm going to whip it out.
Whoa.
Right now. So hang on. I'm going to my file cabinet.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's this barrier between me and this money.
Inside my file cabinet is a little money envelope from the GTE Financial. Are they still GTE Credit Union or whatever?
Yeah. GTE Financial is still the name of the credit union. Yeah.
So inside, and I'm showing this on MJ TV, and of course you can watch the show every morning on MJ TV. If you go to mjmorningshow.com, at the very top you'll see MJ TV. You click on that, you can watch us live from 6 to 10 a.m. Just click, or you can go back and watch any show. So today's show, if you're driving now and you're not able to see the money I'm about to flash, well, I will flash it, and then you can watch it later. So you can go to mjmorningshow.com, click on MJ TV, and you can watch us later on anytime during the day. You can go back and watch last week's shows. It's all on mjmorningshow.com and MJ TV. So I'm holding up a whole bunch of $100 bills.
Okay.
In fact, I'll count it out. 1, and And look, there's an old one. Man, I love the old school hundreds. Don't you miss these
What do you
old?
like about them?
Because they're classic.
They have that classic look,
they just
man.
make me feel like I'm home. The old classic $100 bill. It's
A nod to simpler times.
no. Well, that's it. 100. You said it better than I could say it. It's a nod to simpler times. It just felt better when these were the $100 bills.
And guess what? When those were the $100 bills, you could get more with them too.
Exactly. Versus the newer ones, which I'm holding up right now. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 11, 12, 13.
Okay.
There's $1,300 here in $100 bills, which I'm holding up to MJ TV right now.
That's a lot of money.
This money was raised via GoFundMe. When Fester fell ill during his flare-up with myasthenia gravis, this autoimmune disorder, and Fester, you were out for what?
3 weeks off the show, 2.5 weeks off the show.
Yep.
And then I did the show from home for another 2 weeks.
Another 2 weeks at home. So Fester was out for, Don, the IT guy, who we have a great relationship with.
Good guy.
Don, the IT guy from Team Logic IT. If your company needs a great IT guy, a whole IT team for safety, security, for making sure you don't get phished and hacked and ransomwared. If you need point of sale stuff, if you need a great IT company, you need Don the IT guy. DonTheITGuy.com. So Don is a friend of the show. FOS, friend of the show. And Don started a GoFundMe because Fester was out of work from his real job, which is working at General RV.
Right.
See, this is Fester's part-time job.
Boy, is it.
He doesn't make much money doing this.
It's really almost charity.
Yeah,
I'm actually losing money.
So
Is this my part-time job as well?
Fester makes more money selling RVs at General RV off of I-4 in Dover. So with Fester being out, Fester missed out on tons of RV sales. You missed the RV Super Show, right?
I did. I was in the hospital the week of the RV Super Show. Oh, man.
I mean, you could have made 25, 30 grand that weekend.
And a big week.
So Don, the IT guy, to help Fester out, started a Fester in the hospital GoFundMe account, and it raised a whopping $1,300 before we kind of shut it down.
It was unsolicited. I didn't ask him to do this.
Oh, no. Fester, Fester. I mean, it was just a nice gesture from Don. Anyway, I said to Don, Don, listen, we really appreciate you doing this. However, Fester's a little uncomfortable.
I'm not trying to come across as any kind of charity case. I mean, that's
but this is where things get weird.
Well, then now this
hold
money's
on a minute.
here.
This is where things get a little weird.
The money's just sitting in your file cabinet.
Fester told me to tell Don, take down the GoFundMe. Yeah. Fester just was uncomfortable with the GoFundMe. So wait a minute.
Right.
So Don, the IT guy, takes down the GoFundMe, but it had already raised $1,300, of which I'm holding right here. Now, Fester, who wanted the GoFundMe taken down because he didn't want to be perceived as some kind of charity case, now Fester says to me this morning, hey, MJ,
listen,
you know that $1,300 you have? I'm like, yes. I didn't pocket it. It's been sitting right here in my little filing cabinet. I'm glad no one stole this. It's been sitting in my filing cabinet right here in the studio, right under the counter, since Don brought the money by. So Fester now says to me, hey, MJ, can I have the $1,300?
There should be no asking. It's not your money to ask. It's not. You're not the keeper of these funds.
Fester says, I'm going to need that to purchase my new old used beater. Yes. So you have your eyes on what now?
Oh, hold on. Listen, not eyes. I've made a commitment.
So what are you buying? What's going to replace the 2004 Lincoln Town Car?
Only the classiest vehicle on the road.
Just tell me what it is.
A Cadillac.
What year?
Ooh.
2010.
You're buying a 2010. So now you're buying you're buying a 13-year-old car,
13-year-old car,
or maybe even a 14-year-old car.
This is an elderly-driven Cadillac.
All right, so
I think the guy croaked. I think I'm buying it from his son.
What model is it? What caddy?
It's the Cadillac DTS, the big car.
You're buying the big one.
I only buy big cars.
Oh my God!
I'm not going to buy a small car.
All right, so Fester now has his eyes on a 2010 Cadillac. a big old Cadillac, and now he wants the $1,300 to put toward, how much do they want for the Cadillac? How much is the 2010 Caddy?
There's a lot of negotiation on
Just
this
tell me,
price.
stop dragging me through the mud here. How much is the car?
$7,000.
And you want this $1,300? Here's the issue. What do we do with the $1,300? What I had suggested, since Fester wanted the GoFundMe account, this is just bizarre. You wanted it taken down, and now you want the $1,300.
I could have promoted it and said, MJ, we got to talk about the GoFundMe. I could have raised $25,000.
What I had suggested was that this $1,300, and that's why I've been hanging on to it, that we take the $1,300 and we give it to charity.
The charity should be this car.
You know what? I want to go to phones on this.
It's not your money to dictate where any of it goes.
Let's see what our listeners are the most important thing going here.
The fact that you still have it in your possession is theft, if anything.
It's not theft.
It's not your money.
It's sitting. Don brought. Well,
you should have handed it over immediately upon me seeing you.
You have not asked for it.
Until now, and I'm getting nothing but grief.
All right. I want to go to phones on this. The $1,300 from GoFundMe, should Fester be given this money to go spend on a car, or should we give it to a deserving charity in the Tampa Bay area, which is my initial inclination, which is something I've wanted to do? Let's go to phones on this. What should we do? Should I have to give this $1,300 to Fester, or should Fester say, you know what, let's find a great charity and we'll donate the $1,300 there? Let's go to phones. Fester,
it's not your fun.
Fester, will you agree to our listeners and their requests, their suggestions? Will you make the listener vote a binding contract?
No, absolutely not.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I want to go to the listener lines right now and ask all MJ Morning Show listeners, should Fester take the $1,300, or should Fester graciously agree to donate it to a worthy charity in the Tampa Bay area? Let's go to phones. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, every line is already jammed. I'm going to go through lines quickly. Now, Roxanne, can you keep a tally?
Sure.
Can you
I'm trying to tally these texts because there are 50 of them already.
All right, do you have a scrap paper over there?
I do.
Okay, keep the money or donate the money.
I got it.
And keep track. Right now, we're going to phones. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. It's a simple question. What should we do with the money? Should Fester get the money and spend it on his 2010 Cadillac, or should it be donated to charity?
First of all, MJ, I don't think this is going to work out the way you think it is.
Well, let's see. I'm willing to let the listeners' calls on this be binding.
How many calls are we going to take? 100?
I'm going to take 3,000 calls.
Yeah, let's just take them for the rest of the show.
We're gonna go until midnight tonight. We're going long. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to phones. Fester, will you agree to whatever the listeners say? You keep the money, or we donate it to charity? Will you agree to whatever the listeners want here? Yes or no?
Double or nothing.
What?
Put your money where your mouth is.
What are you saying?
Are you saying that he has to add another $1,300?
So
Want to make this interesting?
If the listeners,
I will donate all the money to charity, all of it today. We will find a charity today, and I will make a $1,300 donation to them today, if the listeners say so. If not,
you mean with that money?
With that money, I'll take that cash. We will make a donation today.
Are you saying if the listeners say you should keep the money toward your new car?
I keep the $1,300. Oh no, hold on. If the listeners say I should donate it, I will donate all $1,300.
But
if they say I should keep it, you double it.
You want me to give you a $1,300 bonus on top of this?
You want to put money where the mouth is? You want to think everybody's so high and mighty? You want to make a big deal busting my chops about asking for money that's rightfully mine? Let's go.
You're on, Biatch.
Oh!
You're on.
All right.
Now, folks, don't play games now.
This is the real deal.
Go with your heart. Go with your gut.
Go with your heart.
All right. So if listeners say Fester should keep the money, then I've agreed to add another $1,300.
This isn't some little, hey, we need to budget out of, talk to Ronnie D or something. You are going to stroke out the check today.
You should add $1,300 to the charity if the listeners pick the charity.
That's on him. That's on him.
Let's go to phones. Let's start with Danny in Palm Harbor. Danny, should Fester keep the money, yes or no?
No, don't need it. He should get off his fat ass and go spend his own money and buy his car.
What? Danny, first of all.
All right, we're off to a good start.
It's a terrible start.
Danny, thanks for the call, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. No, Fester should not keep the money. Goes to charity. That's call number 1. That opens up a line, 800-990-1047. Travis is in Arcadia. Travis, you're on the MJ Morning Show. What should Fester do with the money?
Hey, man, if he had made the show, he would have had money to get the car. But he didn't. He's in the hospital. He should get the money.
So what's your
that's
vote?
logic.
What's your vote?
You keep it.
Yeah, my vote's you keep it, man. I mean,
Oh, man, we're
that's
tied up
really
now.
what it was for. You were out for weeks.
All right, Travis, I got you, buddy. Thank you. I got to go through these quickly. All right, so now we're tied up.
All right.
Let me go to Jeremy in Spring Hill. Jeremy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. So I believe, now this is before I heard about the whole deal thing. I called before that. I absolutely 100%. I think that he should keep the money because the money was made for him. So he gets to keep it. If he wants
Roxanne,
to
was that you?
No, it was our caller.
No, it was not the. All right, so
Sorry, Jeremy.
everyone's coughing in here.
Yeah, Roxanne's hacking up a lung while we're talking to Jeremy.
So,
here.
Jeremy, you think he should keep the money now?
Absolutely. It was made for him. He can do what he wants with it.
Jeez. All right, thanks. All right, let's go to Ann in Tampa. Ann, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Ann, should Fester keep the $1,300 or donate it to charity?
Fester, I love you, dude, and I came close to donating before they shut it down. No, I'd be pissed. That was mainly for bills to help you with any kind of, your power bills, anything, but nothing like this is not necessary, so I say charity.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
This is a bill, by the way, Ann.
Opens up a line, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Should Fester keep the $1,300 GoFundMe money for his car, or should we donate the $1,300 to charity? We are now tied up 2-2. Back to the phones. Joe's in Dade City. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Morning, MJ.
Morning, Joe. What should we do with the money?
I think Fester should keep it.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
3-2. Thank you, Joe. Let's grab Kevin in Riverview. Kevin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. What should happen to the money?
Give it to Fester. Y'all lost your mind. Come on, man needs a car. Get off your butt.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hold on. What do you mean get off my butt?
Yeah, you the one sitting there. That money ain't yours. God.
Thank you, buddy. All right. Fester's pulled ahead. It's 4-2 now. 800-990-1047. Kim is in Lakeland. Kim, MJ Morning Show. What should happen to the money?
I think that Fester should keep the money.
Son of a...
Everybody that donated
Yes.
to Fester.
Exactly. That's what people are saying on the text line, that
now
their intention was for it to go to Fester.
And you have no control over what happens to money once you send it to a GoFundMe. It just goes to that person for them to use how they kind of see fit.
Exactly. They're supposed to use it the way they want. And MJ, if you do donate some money, then I think that should go to charity.
If I match the $1,300, that shouldn't go to Fester. That should go to charity.
That's what I think.
All right, Kim, you had really good ideas. Now you have really terrible ideas.
Kim, thanks for the call. Jennifer's in Clearwater. Hey, Jennifer, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning. I think he should donate it.
There we go. Okay. Now it's
3-5.
5-3, 3-5, whatever you want to. I'm going with yes. Fester keeps. No. So that's the way I'm doing it. I'm doing the yeses that Fester should keep it, and then no, I'm doing that one second. So it's 5-3, yes. Hey, Jen, thanks for the call. All right. Let me grab Sherry in Palm Harbor. Sherry, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning, everybody. So I think that he should donate the money. We'll take any money. We have a fund up on Sunday called Hearts and Hope.
Hey, Sherry,
and
your phone is breaking up. Where do you think the money should be donated?
to Hearts and Hope. We have a fundraising event coming up on Sunday, and we provide necessities for seniors.
All right, Sherry.
All right, Sherry.
So not only did she call in to vote against me, she called in to promote her own charity.
Well, Sherry, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherry.
It's now 5-4.
Oh, it's getting close.
So now it's coming back. Let's grab Troy in Land O'Lakes, which is, by the way, LOL. Let's go to LOL. Hello, Troy, MJ Morning Show. What should Fester do with the money?
Morning, MJ. This is Troy. A couple weeks ago, Fester called me a nerd because I agreed with you about the gas. So normally I would agree with you, but today I got to side with Fester, being that people donated to him, not to a different charity. So I agree with Fester.
All right.
Troy,
thank you, buddy.
Thank you. And to just keep true to myself, I still think you're a nerd. But thank you.
It's 6-4. Fester keeps the money.
See, I thought he was going to get back at you, and
who knows?
It twisted it. It was
a lot
surprise.
of people have an axe to grind with me.
Elijah's in Orlando. Elijah, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. I just don't really understand the people that's saying that he should donate the money. The GoFundMe was for him, so he should have been got the money. He should have given it to him when he first came back to work. Fester keeps the money.
All right, Elijah, I got you down, buddy. Thanks for listening, my friend. Let's grab Pedro in Wesley Chapel. Pedro, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning. What do you think should happen to the money?
Have you seen that movie with Matt Damon called Rounders, the poker movie?
You know what? I have not seen that one.
That's good.
Are you seen that?
You know, I'm trying to think. If I did, it was a long, long time ago.
At the end, he beats KGB and he says, "Pay that man his money." That's Fester's money, man. Give that to Fester.
Oh, boy.
I like how you delivered that.
All right. Thank you, Pedro. Appreciate you listening. It is now 8-4. Oh, it's not looking good. 8 votes for Fester keeping the money. 4 votes, give it to charity. 800-990-1047. That just opened up a line. I got a lot of stuff to do here, so I still have to do the Michelle story. We have another story about money. Michelle, money, me, and a picture that I took with Michelle on Friday night that somebody wants to make a little deal about, which I'll explain in a minute. Let's grab Amanda in Lakeland. Amanda, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. What do we do with the money?
I think Fester deserves it.
Oh, son of a...
I don't know if I'd use the word deserves it. However, I'll take it. Thank you very much.
You more than deserve it because you put up with MJ's BS every day.
I love him. Don't let me fool you.
Thanks, Amanda.
We love you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. All right, Patty. Patty's in Bradenton. Patty, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi, MJ. Why do you still have that money?
Exactly.
If you don't give it to Fester, you're stealing his money.
Well, I didn't steal it. It's in the cabinet here in the studio. It's not like I absconded with it and bought a TV set or something.
Did you give it to Fester yet?
I did not.
Then that's stealing.
I don't know if I class.
It's his money.
This is not looking good.
Patty, MJ is in possession of funds that are not his.
All right, Andrew, I'm just going to clear the calls that we have on hold. Thank you for the call, Patty. Oh, by the way, I got to say hi to Denise.
Oh, hi, Denise.
I went with Julian to Home Depot in South Tampa.
Right.
Roxanne, you're just coughing up a racket over there.
Do you want me to leave?
No, I don't know what to do. All right, so here's the deal. I went to Home Depot because I had to get bags of, the crushed concrete, like paver base. So I had to get a whole bunch of paver base. So I went to Home Depot in South Tampa, south of Gandy. And the minute I walk into the garden center, Denise is at the cash register. And Denise says, "Hey, MJ, I listen to you every morning." Boom. So Denise at Home Depot, South Tampa, thanks for listening to the and she's listening right now. She, I guess, gets to work about 8 o'clock every morning.
Good.
Hi, Denise.
She should be there in the car right now, still listening to us.
Hey, Denise, call in and tell MJ what he should do with the money.
Let me finish up these calls. Adam in Winter Haven. Adam, what should happen to the money? Did we lose Adam?
Adam, hello.
Yeah, the line's still there. Right. I'll put him on hold. Maybe he's. I'll just hang up on.
We got it.
All right, let's grab Jim in Clearwater. Jim, MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hello.
Jim, what should happen to the money? Yep.
He should keep the money, and hopefully, now that it's doubled, he could buy a better car.
Oh,
no. This is going
God.
to. Listen.
How many people are calling in saying Fester should keep the money because Fester bullied me into a double or nothing deal?
You bullied yourself.
No,
you could have made no big deal. You could say, "Hey, Fester, here's the cash," and it would have been done. But no.
Michelle's in Temple Terrace. Michelle, what should happen to the money?
Hey, I think that even though Fester wasn't always nice to me when I called in, it should go to Fester because he lost out on potentially $25,000 at that boat and RV show, which could have gotten him a brand new Cadillac.
Oh, you know I would never buy a new car.
Was it boats and RVs or no boats, just RVs?
Just RVs.
But that would be cool if you sold boats.
Yeah, I'd love to sell boats. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Those boat guys kill
But
it.
no, I think it should go to Fester. It was raised for him, and he should use it how he deems fit.
You know, thanks for the call. You know what's going on here? The listening audience is ganging up against me, MJ, and they're taking money out of my kids' mouths right now.
They're doing the right thing, and then you made a terrible bet.
Can I dump that whole thing?
No.
Can I hit the dump button and erase the last 15 minutes?
It'll live forever on MJTV.
All right. Mia's in Clearwater. Mia, what should happen to the money?
I donated to Fester, and I believe it should go to Fester.
Oh, no. All right. So you...
I really doubt you taking money out of your children's mouth.
Hey, Mia, listen. If you ever need a lift, you call me, and I'll pick you up in my Cadillac.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you,
All
Mia.
right, all right?
Appreciate it.
You
All
know
right.
the number.
All right. Look at every line. All right. I'll take a few more. Every line. The minute I hang up on one, all right, screen these. I'll take. All right, John in Newport Richie. John, you're on the MJ. I want to take more calls because I want to come back here.
I've lost
you're
count.
not going to come back.
I've lost count.
You're not going to come back on this one.
So John puts us at 15-4.
Yes,
is where
John.
mine
What
counts.
is
I am Team Fester, 100%.
Oh, no.
John.
Genius.
John, thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, Catherine is in Jersey City up in New Jersey. Catherine, what should happen to the money?
I think you should donate it to charity, MJ.
I'm coming back, baby. All right, now it's 14-5. 14-5 is the current vote. I'm coming back, baby. Catherine, thanks for the call. All right, Frank in Tampa. I mean, every line, the minute I hang up, the line's filled. Frank, you're in Tampa. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, Frank. Frank, a little louder from me, buddy.
All right, donate it to Fester. Two birds with one stone.
Jeez. All right, 15-5. I'm getting run over.
Thank you, Frank.
I'm getting dragged here. Howard in Dade City, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Howard,
we have every line still jammed.
I know every line.
I hate to see you give up on this because you're losing so pathetically. I mean, so miserably.
Oh, so you're trying to widen your margin instead of have me come back.
Man, I just know people are taking the time to call in.
Howard in Dade City, what should happen to the money?
Give Fester his money.
Oh, jeez, man, I'm getting hosed here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
An
Emiliano.
avalanche now.
Emiliano in Tampa. Hey, Emiliano.
Good morning, MJ.
What should happen to the money? Should Fester keep the GoFundMe money or donate it to a charity?
Absolutely should go to Fester.
Oh, my God.
I'm inclined to agree.
All right, thank you. Listen, Andrew can't even screen these calls fast enough. Penelope is somewhere. Hello, Penelope. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Lake Alfred.
Excellent. And what should happen to the money?
Fester deserves the money. He missed out on some income, and they gave the money to him. They raised it for him. It goes to him.
I am getting I'm getting run over here by Fester's new 2010 Cadillac that he wants to buy. Yes.
MJ, I feel like we all forgot what a traumatic couple of weeks that was. It's not like people donate the money because Fester didn't feel like going to work that week. I mean, he was like in bad shape.
He was.
Hospitalized.
Yeah. This is the week I didn't feel like going to work, and here I am.
Yeah.
Mike in Tarpon Springs, what should happen to the money?
Hey, fellas, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
I'm just wondering, all these people saying that they want to give the money to charity. If you find $100 bill on the ground, man, what are you going to do with it? Pick it up and put it in your pocket.
You keep it.
Give Fester the money, man.
Yeah, I know. I already marked you down for that. All right, thank you. All right, Hector in Tampa. Hey, Hector, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, what's going on, Fester? I hope you like Fields, BMW, MJ. Guess what?
What?
Ha, you are giving it to Fester. Hey, BMW, Fester, BMW.
Listen, I love Fields BMW. They're a great establishment.
There you go, and you get a discount.
Listen, you must work there, Hector.
Hector, do you work at Fields BMW?
No.
Okay. Gotcha. Thanks, Hector.
Pick up an application on your way by.
Andrew, I'll take these last four. That's it. Last four. Nikki and Holiday. Nikki, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
Hi, it's Fester's money. I don't even know why you still have it.
All right, thank you, Nikki. All right, Jeremy in Tampa. Jeremy, last two calls, even though every line is already lit up again. Jeremy, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
All right, what we need to do is take Fester's old car and create a separate donation fund where we take his old car around with sledgehammers and let the listeners beat the tar out of it.
Listen, we're planning something spectacular with the old car. I can't get into it now, but we're planning something spectacular for the Lincoln.
We do have something really cool for Fester's 2004 dead Lincoln.
Yeah, we're not just going to scrap it.
Let's start a GoFundMe for a donation for that thing. Just let him have his money.
All right, thank you. Last call. So everyone calling in, I got to move on. I already went longer than I wanted to. I'm getting trampled.
Oh, boy, are you?
I'm getting absolutely manhandled here. Last call, Juan in Tampa. Juan, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello, Juan.
Hey, hello.
You have the final say, Juan.
I agree with the last caller. Give it to Fester. It was originally intended for him, and then create another fundraiser using his old car.
All right, I said I'd let the listeners decide.
Juan, thank you.
Roxanne, I have 23-5.
Yep, I have,
We just took 28 phone calls?
2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
Holy, wow.
I stopped counting after 12. So, I mean.
All right, I am now handing the $1,300 to Fester.
Thank you very much.
I am now handing 13 $100 bills, which I'm holding up to MJTV. I'm making the transfer right now to Fester.
Right.
So, Fester, now you can hold it up to your camera.
Thank you. Here's the money
now,
right here.
Fester's holding the money up to his camera, and there we go.
So now there's the other business. I am one of the few people that knows an MJ secret that at all times, MJ carries a check in his wallet for emergencies, which this would constitute.
Oh, that's old school.
MJ has a old school paper check.
Hold on a sec. Let's look inside.
I've always known you to carry.
Let's look inside my wallet. So I have my key card to get into the building.
Right.
I have some cash. I have 150. I have 100. I've got $50 bills. I got 50, 100. I have 150. I've got $200 in cash.
Okay.
But dude, you're out of luck. I do not have a check in this wallet. The other side, my Costco card. I've got my Dade City Gun Club membership card.
Of course.
I've got my voter registration card. I have.
You carry your voter registration card on you?
I have an old purple 2 elevators parking ticket from Tampa International Economy Parking. I can throw that away.
How old is that?
I have my insurance card. I have my concealed. But Fester, there is nothing in here.
Wow.
There is no check. Oh, another. Looks like another
$30,
$40.
$40.
Yep. Fester, you're wrong. I do not have one of my little standby checks in my wallet.
So then the question is, what is your plan to
make this right?
Pay your debts? I mean,
hit an ATM.
I mean, hold on now. I mean, you are Mr. You're on. I mean,
fine. I'll write you. Come to the house after the show. I'll write you a check for $1,300. How did I get roped into this? Why did I think our audience would want to donate the money to charity and not to Fester?
You roped me into it. This could have been done discreetly off the air. Hey, Fester, here's the envelope. I would have been like, hey, Dan, thanks a lot. I'll give you a ride in my Cadillac. But no, you had to trying to out me, and he's like, Fester's being a greedy person. No, none of it's going to work out like that.
I've got 2 other stories that have to deal with money.
And I've got a big pocket full of cash thanks to MJ. 1,300
Rub it in.
Coming in.
8 o'clock at the MJ Morning Show. 8 o'clock exactly. I'm running late because I had teased. Oh, I got to put my key card back in my wallet.
Okay, put everything back.
Hang on, I'm doing it right now.
Who carries their voter's registration card with them just every day?
It's in there. I'm sorry. All right, so here's the deal. I teased this for 7:45. Clearly, the show can be fluid, and sometimes this is a very spontaneous show, and things just happen.
I think we could have taken Fester calls for the entire show.
We could have.
10 o'clock.
The phones are still ringing. Well, what I wanted to talk about 15 minutes ago, it is also money related.
Very fiscally forward show.
Did you see the item where a man on an airplane offered a woman $100,000 to do something? This is a crazy story. A millionaire, a multi, hold on. Wait a
Roxanne
minute.
just gave a.
I just flew yesterday. No one made me any
hold on
propositions or offers like that.
I just said a guy offered a woman $100,000 on a flight if she would do this, and you went, oof. What went through your head?
Well, first thing that went through my head is I flew yesterday and no one offered me money for anything.
But you don't know what this person offered, right?
And then my next thought is like, what was it like to look at her feet, to have her take off her bra and let him take it home? Like, what was it, a perverted thing, or was it? I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I'm going to fill you in right now. This woman on a Delta flight had an encounter with a Silicon Valley veteran by the name of Steve Kirsch. Steve Kirsch, 64 years old. Everyone called this guy a creep of monumental proportions. And the woman brought the whole story to light on Twitter and wrote this post. You ready to find out what the $100,000 was for? This woman wrote, I'm on board a Delta flight right now. The person sitting next to me in first class refused $100,000 to remove her mask for the entire flight. No joke. This was after I explained they don't work. She works for a pharma company. Well, first of all, I don't want to get into a mask debate, but the flimsy little cloth masks, or even to a certain extent, some of the like lower grade, just like surgical masks, don't offer a lot. But unless people cough and like sputum and spit coming out, then that'll be captured. But the N95s and the KF94s, those masks have a good protective barrier. But the point is, I'm not getting into a mask debate here at all. The point is, this guy offered this woman $100,000 to take her mask off for the entire flight. This guy got dragged for being a creep, made total headlines, and this was last week. I had the story in the pile last week. The story was all over the place. The reason why I'm bringing it up is there's a follow-up, because this total multi-millionaire Silicon Valley. What if he had any money in that SVB bank?
Ooh.
Yeah, right, SVB.
Good question.
Do you know what this guy's claim to fame is? He was one of the inventors of the optic mouse.
Yeah, the little the wireless mouse. Yeah.
So he invented a very important piece of technology.
Yeah, this guy's got a lot of money, and he made a lot of splash last week because the story went viral about offering a female passenger $100,000 to take her face mask off. And the follow-up here, the reason why I'm following up, is that he is now saying he has no regrets. But he did not get a lot of support online. I mean, a lot of folks were calling him a total creep for doing this.
All right, how is he a creep, though? I mean,
he spoke to the New York Post late last week, and he said that it took place on a 4.5-hour flight from San Francisco to Detroit. He said it was a cordial conversation. He said that he's never obnoxious and aggressive. He said, I asked her why she was wearing a mask. She said that she was going to see her daughter and wanted to protect herself against COVID-19. And then he made the hypothetical $100,000 offer to question the intensity of her belief that he didn't think that the mask was going to be effective for her. So the woman said she would turn down the sum of money, with then the multimillionaire curse saying that it highlights the insanity that some people have. She believes that it works. And he was exasperated. I just wanted to understand how people believe this bleep. And he's a Silicon Valley veteran. Back in 1980, he invented the optical mouse, as Fester had pointed out. He later co-founded another big technology company. Frame Technology was bought by Adobe in 1995. created a search engine, InfoSeek, which was then sold to Disney in 1999.
Wow.
I don't think that was a good investment for Disney, to be quite honest.
It was a great one for him.
Yeah. The guy's net worth was reported at $230 million back in 2007. So what the hell is this guy worth now?
Probably triple.
Yeah. So the woman turned down the $100,000. And, again, whether it was a real $100,000 or just hypothetical, he says that it's not the first pitch that he's made. He said he's offered people $10,000 in the past. So, Roxanne, what would you do? Because on social media, this guy got dragged. This guy got really hammered, and they called him a creep. What would you do if you were wearing a mask on an airplane and a guy said to you, I'll give you $100,000 if you take that mask off? What would you do?
It's coming off. I don't even understand why this is a question.
I take my pants off for $100,000.
Well, let's not go there.
What does this guy want?
You take your pants off. We saw that picture in the hallway.
I'll sit right next to you, Mr. Hirsch.
There we go. All right, I got to get into Michelle and myself and our picture and somebody making, I think, a pretty rude comment. But, hey, you know me, I'll throw it all out there at all times. So we'll get to that in a second. First, though, yes, Roxanne.
No.
When you turn your mic off, it still just ricochets in the whole room.
I'm doing everything I can.
I know. Listen, I'm just pointing it out. Yeah. So, have you seen the video? Hey, Andrew, do you have the video ready to go online of the weather lady collapsing? Is that ready to go, Andrew?
Not yet. It will be.
All right. Had a couple hours to get that done.
What a graphic video that was. A really violent fall she took.
This is crazy. A meteorologist, a weather woman for KCBS and KCAL. These are two television stations out in Los Angeles, and KCBS is a CBS affiliate. KCAL is also owned by CBS out there, and it's an independent. And this was on the KCAL Saturday morning news. And the anchors, they get ready to throw it to the meteorologist, and the woman faints and collapses live on the air. She collapses and falls over on the desk. She's not standing up yet. She's sitting down like an anchor desk over at the Weather Center, and the woman collapses and then hits her head on the table, then falls onto the ground, falls onto the studio floor.
Alyssa Carlson is the meteorologist.
So Alyssa Carlson became ill during the 7 a.m. Saturday morning newscast, and she fainted, and it took a while for them to talk about her condition. So Alyssa Carlson Schwartz was doing the weather for KCAL on Saturday morning, but I guess her regular gig is over at KCBS, which is CBS 2 in Los Angeles, and they were kicking off the early Saturday morning newscast, and they were talking about the weather, and they were talking about the rain that was predicted for LA. They have these what do they call them, atmospheric rivers, or they're just getting a lot of rain. It goes from from total drought to rain. Let me play the audio of this, and we have the video posted up at mjmorningshow.com. This is what it sounded like as the anchors are coming on the air.
Count News at 7 on CBS, streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Rachel Kemp.
And I'm Michelle Medina in for Sheba, who is ready for some sunshine. I know I am. Let's start off with a check of your next weather with meteorologist Alyssa Carlson. She joins us live in the studio. Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again. No.
Oh. We're going to go ahead and go to break right now.
Yeah. We'll be right.
And then they go to break.
What?
They never came back. They canceled they went to some other programming. They put on a video. They canceled the morning news. They did not come back from break.
Wow.
They went to some other programming. This is the Saturday morning news on KCAL in Los Angeles, a big TV station.
That was straight up scary. Her eyes like rolled back in her
They
head.
did. It looks like she became possessed or something. But listen again.
Not again. No. Oh.
And the anchors are kind of like giggling about it almost.
Well, they don't know what's happening.
I realize they don't know, but I'm just saying that's what it sounds like.
Well, she wasn't at their desk. The two anchors are at the main desk, and then she's off to the side in some weather center. And I don't think they initially realized that she had collapsed. I don't think they initially realized that she had fainted and fallen on. But then they heard the thud, and then they realized that, oh, my God, they look at the monitor, and she's gone, and they hear the thud. She hit the ground.
Count News at 7 on CBS, streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Rachel Kemp.
And I'm Michelle Medina in for Sheba, who is ready for some sunshine. I know I am. Let's start off with a check of your next weather with meteorologist Alyssa Carlson. She joins
So they're going to Alyssa Carlson in the Weather Center.
us live in the studio. Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again.
And then right there, and then it's crazy. Her head tilts. You can see that she becomes totally out of it, and her eyes roll back into her head, and she looks like she died.
God bless her. And then does she convulse, or is it just her weight that she leans forward and then it kind of drags her down?
Her knees buckle below her, and she obviously falls below the table line, and you don't see her on the ground.
She falls off the chair, and then she just literally, you hear the giant thud, and here's the audio again.
And now,
we're going to go ahead and go to break right now.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Wow, we'll be right back. They don't come back. They never came. This is the opening at 7 o'clock. They're supposed to do a couple of hours of morning news, like 7 to 9. They never came back.
Not again. No.
So she's saying not again because more rain was about to hit Los Angeles with a new atmospheric river.
Not again.
So that's what she's talking about. She's saying not again, more rain about to hit the Southland in Southern California. And then just as she's saying not again, her eyes are rolling back in her head and she collapses and falls underneath the Weather Center anchor desk.
Not again. No.
I'll tell you, one of the most awkward things, MJ, is TV anchors having unscripted conversation.
Yeah.
It is so awkward. Whenever they have to go off teleprompter and actually say something off the cuff, it's the most awkward situation for them.
This is just crazy.
Not again. No.
All right, if you want to see the video, if you want to see what happened to her, and I have an update on her health, and I'll give you that here in a second. The video is up at mjmorningshow.com. So if you go to mjmorningshow.com, click on videos mentioned on the MJ Morning Show, and there is the video link to watch the anchors introduce the 7 o'clock. Then they're put off into a box. Then they bring in the Weather Center girl, and then boom, she collapses. But it's so scary. It looks like the life got sucked out of her face. She tilts, eyes roll back, and then she starts to what is the word I'm looking for?
She starts leaning forward.
No. I just lost the word. I mean,
Okay.
I'm having her condition right now.
No.
I'm kidding. She starts to swoop, not swoop. What's the word I'm looking for? Roxanne, come on, help me out here. She starts to
swoon.
No.
it's not swoon.
I can't.
Sway.
Swap.
No. Anyway,
Swine.
Swell.
you can see it. She starts to lean and then she just falls down.
Veer.
No, I stop.
Careen.
Stop.
Tilt.
All right, the video's up at mjmorningshow.com. Go to videos mentioned and take a look at this thing.
Lean.
No, I already said lean.
No.
All right, Festus,
Buckle.
stop.
Buckle.
All these are good words, but that's not the word I was trying to think of.
This is like the worst game of Pictionary ever.
It is. It's awful.
But MJ, it was really a pretty violent fall. And just think about, not to compare this to what happened to DeMar Hamlin on the field, but they call paramedics. How long is the break? 2 minutes? If they call EMS services, they couldn't have gone back to the studio with EMS people trying to help her, or these other reporters in no condition to just read off a teleprompter like nothing happened with their friend in peril right there.
The update is this, a quote from the TV station out in Los Angeles. Our colleague Alyssa Carlson became ill during our 7 a.m. newscast this morning. I want to thank her coworkers who took immediate action to comfort Alyssa and call 911. So I think the anchors were calling 911 during the break.
Slumped.
Alyssa's being treated at the hospital right now. Hopefully, we'll know more shortly. In the meantime, Alyssa will be in our thoughts, and we're praying for her to be feeling much better soon. So they posted that at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, and that was 5.5 hours after she collapsed on the air. And then the further updates are that she fainted and that she's fainted before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she threw up in the middle of a broadcast. One time. I'm sorry for laughing.
I
about
didn't
that.
see that. She threw up?
Yeah.
I would never miss one of her reports if I knew there was a possibility for either passing out or throwing up.
It's the fainting and vomiting weather woman?
You know, that's one of those fears you have.
Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. My God.
I feel like I always had a fear when I was doing television that, oh my gosh, what if I faint or what if I throw up? Like the two worst things that can happen.
Wait a minute. That was a fear of yours? Was throwing up or fainting live on television?
You just think worst case scenario, what would be the worst case? And those would be two of them. She's done both of them.
I never think of spontaneous throwing up, just out of nowhere. That's awful.
But all kidding aside, I do have multiple stories that say that she has had episodes in the past, that she has fainted on television before.
Isn't that kind of a non-starter for big market TV? Listen, you're a really talented meteorologist. I don't know if this job is for you. You pass out spontaneously. Has Paul Delgado ever passed out during a newscast? Or has Dennis Phillips ever just bought the farm? We'll give him the 5-day forecast.
Let's buzz him up and find out.
Seriously.
You ever thrown up or passed out? Yes, Andrew.
One of the anchors said, "Not again." I thought she was referring to the weather.
She was.
Okay, well, Andrew's making a joke. Andrew's making a joke because this reporter has a history of...
The anchor that said "not again," I'll play the audio by it again. Here it is. The anchor that actually said
"not again." No. Oh.
That was not referring to her fainting. Not again was that they're about to get hammered with rain again in Southern California. That's what that was all about. But the timing, it almost sounded like, oh no, she's fainting again. It's like the fainting goat. It's the fainting.
And you know what's kind of strange? I don't know if those two anchors what they could see, if they could see Alyssa. Is that her name?
Yes. She could be out of sight at an angle where they don't look at her at all, right?
But if she is in sight, or I should say the way it was perceived to the audience, right before her eye roll gets really serious and scary, it almost looks like she, the weather anchor, is kind of like rolling her eyes. Here we go again with bad weather.
Yeah, right. She's like, oh, more rain for the valley. Boom.
And she just hits the ground. Anyway, if you want to see the video, it's up at mjmorningshow.com. Again, click on stories mentioned on the MJ Morning Show. I'm sorry, videos mentioned. Yeah, it's mjmorningshow.com and go to videos mentioned. Thank you, Andrew. And that's where you can see this woman collapse. It really is scary. What else? I think there was another statement that I had. That reports say it's not clear. Listen to this from TMZ. Reports say it's not clear what caused her to faint. TMZ reported that Schwartz experienced a similar episode back in 2014 when she was working at another station. So she apparently fainted and collapsed prior. And then a further update from KCAL News out in L.A. All of us at KCAL News want to thank you for your thoughts and prayers after meteorologist Alyssa Carlson fainted during our morning newscast. Alyssa's now resting and recovering. She says that she's going to be okay.
Yeah, people are saying on the text and sending me links that she had a leaky valve.
Oh, in her heart?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's what she was diagnosed with in 2014.
Okay.
Well, is the valve leaking again? I hope not.
Maybe it's just seeping a little bit. I don't know if it's a full leak.
All right, I got to move on to my Michelle issue here.
Is this the picture you put on Instagram on St. Patrick's Day evening?
It is. So, folks, on my Instagram, and if you don't mind, Andrew, you can post this up on stories mentioned on the MJ Morning Show. And I just want to mention a comment that people love when I put up a picture of Michelle and me.
Oh, yeah.
People just love when I just take a simple picture. So if I go to my Instagram account right now and I look at a photo that I took of Michelle and me, for instance, in Scotland when we went to visit Chloe, a week and a half ago in Scotland. I put up a photo, and it's Michelle and me at dinner, and it was pinned, but I moved it down. And this is back on March 3rd. It has 1,080 likes and 69 comments. All right? So 1,080 likes. That's a lot of likes. I see accounts that have 4 or 5 times the followers that I have, and they only get, 200 likes,
right.
300 likes. It's for whatever reason, when I post a picture of Michelle and me, it gets the most likes. And then I took another picture. On Friday night, we were at Donatello. Michelle's mom and her essentially common-law husband, Bruce, they were in town. And then Michelle's sister and her boyfriend, they came down from up in Chiefland. That's where they live. They came down. And then Michelle's mom wanted to treat us all to dinner. So we go to Donatello on Friday night. And Julian says, hey, let me take a picture of you and Mom. So Julian is sitting right across from us at the table, my son, and he takes my camera, takes a picture, and I post that picture online as well. And again, people love the picture. Right now, it's got 883 likes. And the ratio for the 12,000 followers I have, that's a really good ratio.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, I see accounts that have 5 times the followers I have that don't get the number of likes. But here's why I'm bringing this up. And it's on my Instagram. If you want to see the latest picture of Michelle and me that people seem to love, it's on my Insta. It's on my IG, Certified MJ Radio. Certified MJ Radio. And while you're there, give me a follow because I put stuff up all the time. In fact, I went to see Sardo with Julian at Sardo's Pizza on Saturday, and I took a great video. I'll get into that later on. But here's the yes, Rox.
I just want to say Michelle looks so beautiful and glowy and radiant that it detracts from the poofiness of your hair.
Yeah, I mean,
your hair is so poofy in that picture.
Not only
it is kind of poofy hair. But see, right now you're looking at me. See, this is shower hair.
Okay.
So what you're looking at, my hair was totally wet this morning. I put some gel product in, and I haven't pulled because what happens is I put my headphones on. I wear the big old clunky old-fashioned headphones, which I just can't get away from. And the headphones push my hair down. So at the end of the show, I've got to, because my hair was wet with product, so the headphones push it down. So then I got to kind of poof it back up. So that's the end of the day, and I'm all, I'm poofed up in that picture. So folks, hey, take a look at the shot. Go to my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio, and take a look at the latest picture of Michelle and me at dinner. But this is why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing it up because a woman makes the comment here, and I got to scroll down and find it.
You have a lot of comments on this photo as well.
There's a ton of comments on this thing.
Was she snarky or mean or
no,
friendly?
She's being a little snarky.
Okay.
So I want to find the exact comment. I thought I had it. Tons of comments. You guys are so cute. Awesome picture. All kinds of nice comments here. But then a woman makes the comment that it must be the money. So the woman she's suggesting that Michelle is with me because of money.
Does she not listen to the show and hear your sense of humor?
Yeah, your witty charm.
So that's what the woman is saying in one of the comments. That.
All right.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to say. Whenever I read a comment on IG, I put on my filter of that person is trying to be like how we are towards each other on the show.
They're trying to be shocky or funny
and fun.
or snarky.
And they're trying to be, I take it in the highest level possible, the most positive framework I
don't know if
can.
I would take it too seriously if I were you, MJ.
Yeah.
However,
must be the money. I
can attest to the fact that Michelle and MJ were together well back in his near broke days.
And that's the point I want to make. And all right, Fester, you beat me to the punch.
I mean, seriously.
I was looking for the exact comment here. I was looking for the exact. I think it's. Hang on a minute. It's in the comments. I wanted to read the exact comment that this lady wrote.
I mean, the much funnier thing is the fact that you referred to yourself as a leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, that's what I said.
I know.
So in the comments, what did I write? What did I write in my comments? I wrote Michelle having dinner with her magical leprechaun this St. Patrick's Day. So that's what I wrote. And then this woman sends a message. I'm trying to find her exact verbiage, but this woman comments, because I wanted to give her name out as well. She made the comment, implying that she's only with me for the money.
Maybe she meant it in the cute, sarcastic way, not the mean, vindictive way.
Yeah, I think.
You know what? I think she might have deleted the comment.
Maybe.
Because I saw the comment last night. I saw the comment this morning, and now I'm going through my comments now, and that's why I think she deleted her comment.
Maybe she felt it didn't come across the right way.
I'm thinking maybe she deleted it as we started talking about this. I'm telling you, I saw this comment at 5:30 this morning. It was there, and now I can't find the comment. But the woman was suggesting, and if you want to look at me, and people say, "Oh, Michelle," or MJ, you married up. Oh, you got lucky, because Michelle,
all of which is true.
Michelle's so beautiful.
Yes.
You married up, blah, blah, blah.
I say that about all three of you.
Listen, the photo's up. The photo, if you want to see it, my photo is there. It's on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. Take a look at Michelle and me Friday night, and one woman comments, "Oh, she must be with you for the money."
Maybe she did it as a drunk text, a drunk comment, and she has regret.
But here's the point. What Fester said about I was making nothing. When I'll give you dollars right now. I'll tell you exactly what I was making. When I met Michelle, it was March of 1988. That's when I met Michelle. I met Michelle in Virginia Beach in March of 1988. I was making $17,500 a year.
Oh, wow.
You got that? I was working at 97 Star WGH-FM. I was the nighttime DJ. I was making $17,500 a year.
So you guys built a life together.
You're going to tell me that she was with me, she met me and started dating me for the money? All right. So then I was there for a couple of years. Then I went to, actually it was about a year later, I went to Los Angeles. But even in L.A., I wasn't making a ton of money. In L.A., I think I was making like $50,000 to go to L.A. And that's not a lot of money for L.A. prices. Late 80s, early 90s. So hang on a minute. I'm still not making a ton of money here. So, again, I think she deleted her comment because I can't find it now.
Oh, so listen, the plot thickens because there's one of the texters said they saw it just a few minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago it was there. So she probably heard you get into the conversation and realized.
I think I'm going crazy over here. I'm trying to look for the comment, and the woman took it down. That's why I'm going nuts over here. I'm scrolling on my phone. I'm like, where the hell's the comment? Fester's scrolling. The woman is listening, and she took the comment down that Michelle must be with me only for the money. All right, so Michelle, hang on, Michelle's on the hotline. Hello, Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning, sweetie.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Well, thank you. So, Michelle, did you hook up with me for the money?
Absolutely. I spotted you and I said, that dude has a big fat wallet.
Yeah, at $17,500 a year.
No, but, and I will say, there was also a period of time where you were unemployed, and my grandfather was dreadfully worried. He was like, he has no job. Like, what's going to happen? And I said, he'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I had a stretch where I did not like my job. I left that job. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving this job. I'll go find another one. And that's right. Michelle was with me when I wasn't unemployed long. I was out of a radio gig for what? Like
5 months.
5 months. So it was only 5 months. And this is early 90s. And that's when I went to West Palm. But guess how much money? Michelle, how much money? So Michelle's with me for all this money. I got my first morning, and that's what I was hoping for. I wanted to do my first morning show job. So my first morning show job was in West Palm Beach. Do you know how much I made for my first morning show job in West Palm Beach in 1992?
They probably paid you in Circle K coupons.
Right. I don't even know if it was double digits.
Was it 30 grand?
No, it was like 42.5.
Okay.
That's
So
what I thought.
it was like 42.5 for my first morning show job. And oh yeah, Michelle is with me for the money, all $42,500 a year. But then, listen, I was in West Palm making 42.5, and then the Power Pig, they called me in early 94. It happened very quickly. It was like the second weekend of January 1994 that I got a call from the Power Pig on 93.3 here in Tampa, and they said, hey, we like what we hear over in West Palm. Would you be interested in potentially interviewing for the morning show job at 93.3, the Power Pig here in Tampa? I drove over, and they hired me the next day. So it was a Saturday, and I've told this story before. Mark Chase calls me up, and I drive over to Tampa from West Palm. I interview we went to two places. We went to the Ringside Cafe, and then we went to El Cap. And it was Mark Chase, it was BJ, which we became MJ and BJ, and hello, Dave Reinhardt. And Dave Reinhardt, they interviewed me. So the last contact I had, we're eating cheeseburgers at El Cap on 4th Street. And we wrap things up, and I drive back to West Palm. They said, hey, we'll get back to you in the next couple of weeks, and we'll let you know what we're thinking. They called me the next day and offered me the job. I was here on a Saturday at El Cap, and Sunday they called me over in West Palm, and they offered me the job. I took the job, and that was, do you remember how much that was? And yeah, Michelle's really with me for the money. My first salary at the Power Pig was $55,000 a year. I went from $42,500 in West Palm to $55,000 here in Tampa at the Power Pig. So Michelle, trust me, not with me for the money.
All right.
Now she might have stayed with me for the money.
Let's get something straight. The subsequent 25 years of investment
has paid off.
If anything, MJ, this is a testament to one of the greatest truths of average-looking men. It's never underestimate the power of just a couple of jokes.
Personality,
Just make them laugh. Listen, if you're a good-looking guy, if you're super buff, you're a GQ guy.
You don't need to be funny.
You don't need to be funny.
No.
But if you're an average to below average looking man, which I put myself in that category, just be able to deliver a couple of jokes.
I can't believe the woman erased the comment. And
I did, because I saw it the other day, too.
You
Michelle,
saw it, and then Roxanne says that a listener just saw it a little while ago, and the comment is gone. So the lady that posted it was a woman, that Michelle was with me only for the money, and the comment's now gone. I thought I was going crazy over here.
There is a thing called screenshot, by the way.
Is it possible she was just trying to joke around like you joke around and make a snarky comment and not get you all so bent out of shape over it?
Maybe she was just trying to do play off your leprechaun joke, like pot of gold.
That's the call I've been getting too.
I don't think there was a laughing emoji with it. That's usually the sign.
Do you need a laughing emoji, Michelle?
Listen,
is that what this has turned into?
The lady was saying I'm a troll.
I
The lady was saying that MJ's a troll, and that the only reason that a beautiful woman like Michelle could be with me is because of money. And that's just a bet.
Looking through,
and that's just not the case.
Okay. What is the difference between a leprechaun and a troll in reality? I mean,
the pot of gold.
They're both short. They both reside near bridges. I don't know.
All right. So, hey, Michelle, thanks for phoning in. I love when you call in, and I don't have to call you.
But, I do have to say something.
Yeah.
Even if, Michelle, you met MJ after he got a bump up from that $50,000 a year salary at Power Pig, even if you met him after that, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, your story is that you built a life together, and so that's great. But it's not like she would be a bad person.
No, she'd be a bad person. She'd be money grubbing. That's right.
I mean, what if you met her after you started to make a lot of money?
Well,
wouldn't you want her to still fall for you?
Then he wouldn't have been interested in me.
Oh, never.
I don't know about that. I mean,
always.
Yeah, because I had a whole array of supermodels to choose from.
You had a deaf one.
Did he have? Wasn't there a deaf one? Wasn't there one missing a major limb?
I never dated anyone missing a limb.
You didn't date a one-legged supermodel?
No.
A deaf model.
Okay, maybe I'm making that story up.
Jeez,
I've been telling that story for years about you dating a one-legged supermodel. Like in L.A., you went out on a couple of dates, you had a prosthetic?
I never... Where do you get that from? When you dream this up, I never dated a one-legged supermodel.
I've been telling that story about you for years.
No.
Okay.
In New York, I was on an airplane.
No, you dated a deaf woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, flying back from Virginia Beach to New York when I was working at WPLJ in the...
Flying back from seeing me, by the way.
I was flying back, and, you know, we were dating, but we weren't, like, exclusive. But so I'm flying back from Virginia Beach to LaGuardia, and I'm sitting next to this woman, and she's like, "Hi, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I work at the WPL."
Did she talk or did she sign it?
Or did
she write it?
No, I wasn't sitting next to the deaf model on the airplane. On the airplane, I was sitting next to a woman that worked for the modeling agency. She worked for Ford Modeling Agency in New York.
So she picked the deaf one for you.
Yeah, right. That's the biggest. That's the biggest compliment / insult ever.
No,
exactly. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, you're perfect. I have a beautiful woman for you, and she can't hear a damn thing you're saying. Both of you will luck out.
So I'm on the airplane. We have a conversation, and the flight from Norfolk International to LaGuardia, it's only like 45 or 50 minutes. It's a very quick flight. Very quick. And then the woman next to me, I'm on the aisle, she's in the middle, and, we were talking. She's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I work for a radio station in New York City." And then she's like, "Oh, I work for a modeling agency." And then we get to talking.
Yeah, the biggest modeling agency,
And
Ford.
she said, "You know what? There's a model that I'm currently handling, and you know what? You ought to take her out on a date." And then she told me that, hey, she's deaf, but she communicates very well. She reads lips, and, she knows sign language, which I don't. She'll write notes back and forth. So I said, "Yeah, I'll take her out on a date." So I took her to the coffee shop. The famous it was called the coffee shop. Michelle, I told
memorable. It's a memorable deaf date.
Michelle, I told you because when we went to the coffee shop's no longer there, but the famous
Gatsby there when we got him.
Say it again.
We took Gatsby to the coffee shop.
We did.
We got him.
So when we got Gatsby, our first Jack Russell in New York, we took Gatsby. We sat outside with outdoor seating.
Important moments in your life.
Yeah, we took Gatsby. That's right. And I told Michelle, this is the place where I took the deaf model from Ford Modeling Agency for her our first date. We went out a couple of times, and listen, I wasn't looking for anything serious. And the coffee shop is now gone.
Weren't you though?
Yeah, the coffee shop closed a couple of years ago. What did you say?
Weren't you though?
Wasn't I what though?
Looking for something serious. I mean, you were getting a little long in the tooth.
No, I wasn't looking for anything serious. She was a very attractive young woman, and she happened to be deaf. And I don't care if she's deaf.
She was grateful for it after like 5 minutes with you.
Stop it, Fester.
She's like,
"All right, Michelle.
She was missing.
I gotta run."
Have fun.
Bye, sweet. Hey, thanks for calling in, and tell the audience again that the attractive Michelle is not with MJ for money. Would you tell the audience that, please?
Not a chance. You had me after 2 weeks, and you know that.
And that's what I was making, $17,500 a year.
I didn't even know what you were making.
My parents were helping me out a little bit because I couldn't pay all the bills. My parents, at $17,500 a year, I couldn't pay all the bills. So my parents were helping me out a little bit. And, yeah, Michelle was clinging on to that right there, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Michelle. I'll see you in a bit.
And you had a girlfriend.
Love
Bye.
you. Love you.
Love you too.
A fully hearing girlfriend.
So take a look at the picture from Friday night of Michelle and me. It's on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. And while you're there, give me a follow because you never know what the hell's going to pop up on our my Instagram feed. Certified MJ Radio. Take a look at the picture. And And I'm sure people are putting more comments up there now. But the lady took it down. She erased the minute I started talking about it. She erased it, and I'm scrolling. Like, where the hell is it? What happened to the comment? She took it down.
All right, maybe she was trying to be jokey and not hurtful. I mean, that's the problem with text messages and leaving comments. You don't really relay sarcasm appropriately through the written word.
Just put on your happy, positive filter anytime you read your comments and know they're trying to be like you.
Big money theme today. I don't know what the story is, but speaking of money, did you see now Gisele Bündchen has been spotted out to lunch with another man? And it turns out the guy that Gisele Bündchen's been spotted with is a billionaire developer, Jeffrey Saffer, who's 55 years old.
Isn't that Ellie McPherson's ex-husband?
I think it's Elle McPherson.
Nope. In close circles, it's Ellie.
You're making that up.
It's Ellie and it's Gisele.
It's Elle. It's Elle McPherson.
It's Ellie and Gisele. Right.
No,
and that's how we're going to refer to them going forward.
In Roxanne's closed circles.
Gisele Bündchen, who's 42, was seen out to lunch with a male friend in Costa Rica on Saturday, identified as 55-year-old billionaire Jeffrey Saffer. So does that mean that the relationship with the jiu-jitsu guy is off or what?
Yeah, if I'm this Jeffrey Saffer guy, I don't want Mr. Jiu-Jitsu finding me. He will beat my ass down over Gisele. I got to say, he is a good-looking guy.
Yeah, and we just segued from this IG commenter potentially calling Michelle out for being with you for money to now Gisele wants to be with...
It's not Gisele, it's Gisele, and it's Elle McPherson, not Ellie McPherson.
Wants to be with this guy.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. Like, she already has... She went from Tom to him. Like, now she's in a different class of money.
So apparently Saffer is friends with Tom.
Yeah, I think he got him their property down there at Indian.
Oh man, that's even creepier.
Yeah.
Is he making the moves, or are they just friends?
Hey, I know you're not talking to my friend Tom anymore, so you know.
Roxanne, do you think you have some of these strawberries in your freezer from Costco that are being recalled?
I hope not.
Roxanne sends me this link last night, and it's like, oh my God, we buy all kinds of frozen fruit at Costco.
Do.
Well, did you check to see if you had these?
No, I'm so tired when I
There's
came
hepatitis going around now. All right, here's the deal. Frozen strawberries sold at Costco and Trader Joe's and Aldi are being recalled over fears of hepatitis A infections in Washington State. So these are frozen organic strawberries that have been sold at a number of stores, including Costco, Aldi, and Trader Joe's. But these are the organic. Apparently, they've narrowed it down to that. The Food and Drug Administration has issued a warning advising people not to consume, sell, or serve certain brands of frozen organic strawberries.
Hold on. Did you say in Washington State?
Yeah.
So I live in Florida.
Well, but they're sold all over the country, but apparently there's been an outbreak. The initial cases have been in Washington State where people came down with, I guess, hepatitis A, and somehow they traced them to the frozen organic strawberries. And everyone says organic's good for you.
I don't buy anything organic.
Give me as much pesticides and chemicals as possible.
This Roundup is delicious.
It kills the hepatitis A. You know what? Give me a mouthful of Roundup instead of hepatitis A.
That's my joke.
What?
I said this Roundup is delicious.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, man. But yeah, so has it made its way eastward yet, or is it still on the West Coast?
No, they're saying that it's all of these organic frozen strawberries that are sold at Aldi and Costco and Trader Joe's. So
it's a nationwide recall.
So far, 5 people have been infected with hepatitis A after consuming the strawberries. So with 5 people, you're able to narrow it. What did all 5 people have in common? They all apparently ate these frozen organic strawberries from those stores.
Okay. How long does it take them to figure that out?
3.5 minutes.
I mean, for real, by the time you trace it, people have probably consumed all the rest of it.
That is a very good point. So make sure you don't have it. All right, 8:45 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. And today's just been a blur. Today's just, it's like, what? Where's the time gone here today? And I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface today. I've been entertaining myself for the last 2 hours and 45 minutes. And listen, my whole mantra around here is if I entertain myself, I'm pretty confident that we're entertaining the office. Well, I guess it would be the office. The audience and the office. All right. I got to take a quick break. But remember, folks, if you're in the car now, take us into work. You don't want to miss the remaining content. So as we approach the 9 o'clock hour, every morning you want to hear the 9 o'clock hour. Our density of amazing material, I think we just get better every as the show goes on. I think we get better. So never miss the 9 o'clock hour, and it's coming up next. Don't move. We're back in minutes on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Don't move. And I'm looking at my pile of stuff we got to get to, and it is going to be a nonstop roller coaster ride next. So make sure you listen to us. You put us on the conventional radio in the office. You can use any of the apps, the iHeart app, the TuneIn app, the Odyssey app. You can get the MyQ105 app. You can listen to us on your phone in your office. Put the earbuds in, whatever you want to do. Play it out loud. Use a smart speaker. Play us on the smart speaker. On your computer desktop, just go to mjmorningshow.com. And on your regular desktop computer at the office, go to mjmorningshow.com. The very top, it says Listen Live. Click the red button. Oh, and also pick a ticket. So we're going to give you a chance for you to pick a ticket. And another reason why to listen to the 9 o'clock hour. Andrew, what tickets do we have available for next hour? We have Duran Duran. We've got Kenny Loggins.
Bryan Adams with Joan Jett.
And Bryan Adams, Joan Jett. So next hour, we're going to let you pick a ticket. You decide which concert you want to see. So we're giving away tickets coming up between 9 and 9:15. So pick a ticket, MJ Morning Show, between 9 and 9:15 next. Here on Q105, don't move. Now, Hey, don't forget, we're going to let you pick your ticket here in a few minutes. Sometime, it's right now 8:58. All right, so we're still in the 8 o'clock hour. 8:58 at the MJ Morning Show. Sometime between 9 and 9:15, we're going to let you pick your ticket. We got a bunch of concerts coming up. And Andrew, again, what is it? It's Kenny Loggins. It's Joan give me the whole list of tickets.
Duran Duran.
There's no liner in the studio. Shouldn't someone put a liner in here or something? Yeah, can someone give me a liner? All right, go ahead. What
Duran Duran.
Yep.
Brian Adams with Joan Jett. And Kenny Loggins.
And Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins, yeah.
Duran Duran.
Brian Adams with Joan Jett.
Okay, so
No. It's Kenny. Hold on. What is it? It's Brian Adams with Joan Jett? All right, so Kenny Loggins, Brian Adams, Joan Jett, or Duran Duran. You get to pick which ticket you want, and we'll do that in the next few minutes. Between 9 and 9:15, coming up shortly here on the MJ Morning Show. So stand by. Look, Fester wrote it on a mini whiteboard. Look at
That's
this.
my whiteboard, but you can borrow it.
That's Roxanne's whiteboard so she could give birthday messages to people.
Yeah.
That's right. So we're holding it up now. You spelled Duran Duran wrong. It's only one R.
I was writing it quickly.
Yeah. So Duran Duran, Brian Adams, Joan Jett, or Kenny Loggins. You get to pick your ticket, and that'll happen in minutes. Sometime between 9 and 9:15, and it is coming up on 9 o'clock in like 45 seconds. So stand by. It could happen at any moment. Now, a couple of local items here. First of all, it is expected that Pinellas County may see record revenue from spring breakers. That's a pretty big story.
I believe it.
Because spring break has always been huge here in Florida. Whether it's the East Coast down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, whether it's the Panhandle, up on the Redneck Riviera, up Panama City.
Panama City.
Listen.
That's what it is.
And, of course, St. Pete, Clearwater beaches, it's always been big here for spring break. But for them to say that spring break 2023 could be even busier for most businesses and hotels, and it could mean record revenue. That is one of the projections here. Pinellas County's bed taxes slowly gained momentum since 2013 before running into the pandemic. But even in 2021, numbers returned to pre-pandemic levels of roughly 9.7 million that March for bed taxes. Then in 2022, the bed taxes in Pinellas County exploded to 13 million. And for 2023, they're thinking it could surpass that. And you talk to anybody, the places are jammed right now. The whole area, we already have a lot of traffic and congestion. This area has grown enormously even since the pandemic. We've always been one of the major metropolitan areas in the country, but in just since the pandemic and all the people fleeing up north and moving to Florida, we've already gotten increasingly jammed, and now spring break has put us over the top.
Yeah, usually when you think about spring break, you just picture like the young college kids going to spring break and whatever, it's a volume thing. Obviously, they have some money to spend, but don't forget about spring break as the families taking vacations with their high schoolers or middle schoolers, whatever, who are on vacation. And I think a lot of those families are coming here to the Tampa Bay area because there is so much to do. There's a lot of variety.
Spring break officially began on March 7th and runs through April 10th. So we still have another 3 weeks or so of spring break. Because what is today? Today's the 20th of March. And, listen, it's good for businesses, great for hotels and restaurants, great for the hospitality industry. It's fantastic.
I've been seeing different spring break stories around the state of there being, problems. I haven't really seen any problems coming out of Clearwater.
What problems are you seeing?
Did I see a story about a South Beach spring break fight club?
Oh, yeah.
No,
that happened last week.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
I wasn't here last week.
Oh, you should have been.
No, it's like all over the state. There are viral videos are popping up where they're having fights and boxing matches. And Roxanne made a comment about... Go on, Roxanne. Why don't you tell Fester what you said on the air last week?
Make your comment.
You know what? Had you been here, it would have been much better.
Oh, okay.
Because I just made a simple observation. Now he twisted my words. I mean,
Who
he twisted my words.
I'm not a twister. I don't play
my
Twister.
sentence out.
I don't like Twister.
Right now.
I hate Twister.
Twisting. You're twisting right now.
I hate spinning that little needle and then that little plastic mat with the dots. I hate Twister. Do they still sell Twister?
They still have it. And MJ has...
Twisters suck, especially during COVID times.
Well, you also have short limbs, and you're not that flexible, so you have a lot of things working against you. All right,
So,
what'd you say, Roxanne?
Okay, so I just made a very general observation, and I'm going to show you the
Body
article.
shaming.
Guess what he called me?
Body shamer.
Before I could even get my,
What?
exactly, before I could get my thoughts out,
What?
he called me a size 2's body shamer.
What happened?
Size 2 body shamer. And I was looking at some photos from the Daily Mail, and it was all of these beachgoers, college age.
Right.
And I just was starting to make the observation that they looked bigger than in years past. Not worse, not better, just an observation. And I mean, it's like my real point was that body types change over the years. Look back at the 80s. It was am I allowed to say the T word? I just forgot.
No, you can't say that.
I almost just said bleep on a stick. That used to be like the look in the 80s.
You can't say the T word.
Okay, I didn't. That's why I asked.
For women's breasts.
That's why I asked.
You can't. That's not. You can't say that
No,
word.
I didn't say it.
I mean, super thin with really
Yes.
busty...
You can say it, but I have to dump it.
Right. Okay, so that was a look in the 80s. Now it's a different look. Froggy brought up the point that in the Renaissance time, totally different body style look.
Yeah,
So,
well, the spring break in the Renaissance time was much different.
You
Yes.
mean Rubenesque.
Rubenesque era.
Rubenesque, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think there's a lot more people
so
who are
what Ro-
comfortable in their own skin.
all right, Fessa, what Roxanne was said on, was it Thursday or Friday show?
It was Friday's show.
And Roxanne had said that we were looking at the images of all the spring breakers and a lot of the stories of the Fight Club videos that are popping up. And Roxanne, and it's men and women. They've got women going at it. And Roxanne made a comment that a lot of the spring breakers she's seeing look to be bigger. That's
But
what
not
Roxanne
in a
said.
bad way. Body positivity.
Another local story. Moving along. Another local story. Oh, my God. I've got a tie to this place. The tattoo shop on Dale Mabry and Kennedy got driven into.
Is that Atomic Tattoos?
It is. So what's my tie to that place?
That's where you got your big back art?
That's where I got my tramp stamp, man. That's where I got my troll stamp. All right, no, here's the deal. I have no tattoos. I'll tell you right now, I will never get a tattoo. I don't have a tattoo. I'm not going to get a tattoo. If you want a tattoo, that's your business, and I fully support your choices and personal liberties and freedoms. You want a tattoo, get all the tattoos you want. All right? But I'm not into tattoos. I can listen. I can look at a tattoo and I can marvel on how good it looks, meaning I can marvel on how talented the tattoo artist was that did a tattoo. And there are some very talented tattoo artists. I have a lot of respect for that. It's just the tattoos, they're not for me.
It's not my thing.
Like, and
Right, I'm not a
Michelle
tattoo-
doesn't have a tattoo. I don't want Michelle to have any tattoos. I don't want a tattoo. But the point is, so what association might I have with that Atomic Tattoo Shop?
You got a body piercing there.
No. All right, here's the deal.
Because they do so much more than tattoos.
Right.
Yeah,
Usually
right.
they'll do body piercing.
The big reveal is coming up in just a moment. But here's the story. Tampa Fire and Rescue, they responded to Atomic Tattoos on Saturday on Dale Mabry, right at Dale Mabry and Kennedy, after a car drove through the tattoo parlor. One person was injured, taken to a nearby hospital. I'm looking at a Twitter response from Tampa Fire Rescue, and it says TFR crews are on the scene of a vehicle into a building, Dale Mabry Highway and Kennedy. One patient being assessed by crews on the scene. Southbound lanes of South Dale Mabry down to one lane. And I'm looking at the images, man, the shop is wrecked. I mean, I'm looking at a car through the entire tattoo parlor. The whole shop car is through the place. So what association do I have with that place? Call Michelle. Let's see if Michelle knows.
I'm perplexed. Did it used to be something else, that building?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Are you onto something, Roxanne?
I don't know. Is she?
Hello?
Hello, Michelle.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. What?
Are you going to ask me if that used to be Mr. Diaz's tailor shop?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Diaz's tailor.
That was Mr. Diaz's tailor shop. That was our tailor for what, 20?
If anybody knows where he went and what happened to him, I would love to know.
Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Diaz? He was in that spot for a long, long time. So Mr. Diaz had a tailor shop. Remember, it used to be the Havana Cafe. It used to be that sandwich shop. Now it's another restaurant, but it's that little strip. And then you got the massage place right behind there. You know, the spa.
Yeah.
Yeah, little
And
little rub and tug over there. So
And we used to park in the back and go in, and you went with me one Saturday, and somebody saw, I don't know whether you went out to the car to get something, and they saw us leaving, and they didn't see maybe me or whatever, and they emailed you and said that they saw you leaving the massage shop.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know what they do now. I don't know. Years ago, it used to be. I don't know what it is. I think it's a spa, a massage. I don't know. But let me clarify. Years ago, it was a rub, and it was that because we had people that called us up because somebody saw me in the parking lot by that massage spa over there. Someone saw me in the parking lot, and remember, this was years ago.
And you were coming out of the tailor,
yeah.
so you were carrying your pants, so your pants were already off.
No, I wasn't carrying the pants.
It looked like your pants were off.
I was, listen, here's the deal. I parked in the lot behind, and that's where the parking is, and you had that massage joint over there. And years ago, it used to be a rub and tug. I don't know if it is anymore, but it did years ago. And I was in the parking lot, and someone said, "Hey, MJ, why were you at the massage place? Does Michelle know about this?" And in fact, Michelle was with me. Michelle was like inside.
Yeah, you guys both like it.
We were
both like it.
No, we were at the tailor.
You had a couple's coupon.
We were at the tailor getting our clothes fixed. Michelle was getting a dress hemmed or something. But someone saw me and they assumed that I was visiting the massage parlor, which I was not. But the place, the Atomic Tattoo that got smashed into on Saturday on Southdale Mabry and Kennedy, that used to be, part of that used to be Mr. Diaz's tailor shop. And Michelle, he was the greatest. He used to say, "Michelle, you're like my daughter." Remember that?
Yes, he was so incredibly kind.
All right. Oh, hang on. Oh, Michelle, hang on. I hung up on you. Michelle, you there? Oh, crap.
You hung up on your wife?
I just hung up on Michelle. Hang on, because someone just called up and said they think they know, or we might have some information.
All right.
Hang on.
I have a general question.
Hold on.
If you go to a rub and tug place.
Oh, someone saw the accident. Let me get Michelle back on the line. Hang on a minute.
I want to know Roxanne's question now.
So if you go there and you just want a regular massage, can you just get a regular massage?
Why don't you go in and find out? Why don't you report for us?
Usually they don't ask you if you're a police officer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hung up on
into
you.
a regular
Hey,
massage.
Michelle, hold on 1 sec. We got somebody that saw the accident. I got to lock you in. I'm on a conference call in a caller here. Hi, good morning, MJ Morning Show. Hi, Terry. Is this you?
Yes, this is Terry. Yes.
Hey, Terry, you saw the accident?
Well, we were at the light. We were heading towards Clearwater to the down on Kennedy. We were at the Kennedy and at Dale Mabry, and there was a car. We were in the middle lane, and there was a car at the right of us, like a SUV. But all of a sudden, we heard the noise, and we saw it, but we didn't actually see him go in. But we heard the noise when that Toyota went into that building.
Into the tattoo parlor.
That side of the building from the parking lot.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Then we waited, and then all of a sudden we saw all the rescue coming, and it was like the light. The person was the first rescue, and then there was the fire truck, and they were kind of holding traffic a little bit for us. We couldn't cross over Dale Mabry yet, and then they let us go.
How long were you held up at that intersection before you were able?
Like two lights, maybe two sections of lights, but it was freaky. Oh my God, we were right.
So you heard the
here.
crash, and then when you passed by, you could see that it was a Toyota inside.
Yes, it was fully inside the building. I mean, all you could see was the hatchback was sticking out.
So Atomic Tattoos had like an atomic bomb go off in there with a.
Oh my God! We heard the noise, but like I said, it was an SUV on the right lane, and then then all of a sudden people started running, and it was like rescue coming. So there was like a white car with lights on, and then the fire truck came, and it was like, holy crap! So when we crossed over Dale Mabry, we saw that it was like, what happened? That car was right. It just happened just that moment. It must have been like 9:35.
We're on the air, Roxanne. You're coughing right into your mic, and then you say, "I'm sorry." we're on the air, Roxanne. It's like
we had an 11 o'clock appointment at a bridal shop in Clearwater. So
you getting married?
My daughter is. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in, and I'm glad it wasn't you that ended up inside the tattoo shop.
I said a prayer for that person. I said that person was definitely, because when rescue came, they weren't going into the building right away. They were just they were like surmising out the door. They were probably were afraid of a building collapse, and they weren't going in.
Wow.
But I said, that poor driver must have, and they said they said he had a medical issue.
Wow. Hey, thank you for calling in, Terry.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
All right, I got to give away the tickets here in a second. But, Michelle, it's a very good question. If anybody knows what happened to Mr. Diaz, he was the tailor that was there for decades at Dale Mabry and Kennedy, right where the Atomic Tattoo is now that got rammed into on Saturday. Mr. Diaz used to have his little tailor shop over there. What happened to Mr. Diaz? He was the nicest, sweetest guy. He was an amazing tailor, and he loved my wife. He loved Michelle.
What's not to love about her, though?
He had an amazing story of how he escaped Cuba.
Yeah.
And, so.
All right, Michelle, I got to give away tickets right now, okay?
All right.
All right, sweetie. All right, if anyone knows what happened to Mr. Diaz, let us know. I got to give away tickets now. It's going to kind of interfere. All right. Well, I'm sure someone will call later on.
Send MJ an email if you know what happened to Mr. Diaz.
Yeah.
MJ at MJMorningshow.com.
Thank you. If anyone knows what happened to Mr. Diaz, MJ at MJMorningshow.com. All right, between 9 and 9:15, I said we give away tickets. It is 9:15. Let's go. Let's go with caller number, I'll make it easy. Give me caller 25. Caller 25, you can pick your ticket right now. Do you want to see Duran Duran? Do you want to see Bryan Adams and Joan Jett? Or do you want to see Kenny Loggins? 3 separate concerts. Duran Duran is 1. Bryan Adams and Joan Jett is 2. Kenny Loggins is 3. Which concert do you want to see? Pick your ticket right now on the MJ Morning Show. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Andrew, let me know when you get to caller number 25, and we'll let them pick their ticket.
That's a tough choice.
Hey, did you see what's closing? Is it still in Britain Plaza? Do you know what store's closing?
What?
They're closing 24 stores in Florida, and my parents, particularly my dad, whenever they came over to visit me...
Bell's Outlet?
Well, you're getting close.
Okay, I don't know.
No, Bell's Outlet's not closing.
I don't know what. I'm trying to think what's in Britain Plaza.
Tuesday morning.
Dude, Tuesday morning that's really a great... You've never been to a Tuesday morning?
No.
It's really a great store.
I have never been in there. So there was one... Go to the...
There's probably 10 of them in the Bay Area.
All right. Well, there are 24 that are going to be closed in Florida. So I don't... Popular national discount store Tuesday morning. And they call it Tuesday morning because what? Every Tuesday morning they restock, and... Is that what it was? That new merchandise went in on Tuesday mornings?
I have no idea why they call it Tuesday morning.
Because their slogan is "See you next."
Now what? That's terrible.
That's hysterical. That's not terrible. That's perfect.
See you next Tuesday morning. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Roxanne, really?
Yeah, that's. Wouldn't you make it your slogan?
All right. Is this the closure list?
I think this is the closure
list. Hang on. I got to tell a story about my dad and Tuesday morning. But they're closing 24 stores in Florida. I don't think is it every store in Florida or just 24?
No, it's not every store. There's more than 24 stores.
Hold on to that thought. Let me get caller 25 here. And I'm going to go with line 3. Good morning. It's MJ and the crew. We're live. Who's this?
Hey, this is Mitchell.
Mitchell, why are you calling the MJ Morning Show right now?
Seeing if I won some Bryan Adams tickets.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me where Mr. Diaz the tailor is now.
I wish I knew for you.
So anyway, dude, what was your first name?
Mitchell.
Hey, Mitchell, congratulations. You're caller 25. So you win. The question is, what are you going to win? You get to pick your ticket. Do you want to go see Duran Duran? Do you want to see Bryan Adams and Joan Jett? Or do you want to go see Kenny Loggins? Which ticket do you want to pick? Go.
I'm going to go with Bryan Adams, please.
You got it. Bam! So you got Bryan Adams and Joan Jett. You got the tickets, my friend. So I'm going to put you on hold, and then Andrew's going to get all your information, okay?
My man, thank you.
Thank you, my man. Mitchell, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, MJ.
You bet. All right, line 3, Andrew, get his information, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning. We're doing it every day this week. So every day this week between 9 and 9:15, pick your ticket. Got another chance for you to win tomorrow morning between 9 and 9:15. Back to Tuesday morning.
All right. So if you've never been, Tuesday morning is a cool store.
Yeah, my dad loves it, and I'm going to tell you why.
You never know what you're going to find there. It's a hodgepodge of stuff.
Yep. So let me read the story. Popular national discount store Tuesday morning is shutting the doors on half of its stores following the company's decision to file for bankruptcy on February 14th. The company announced it's filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to enable company to reduce its outstanding liabilities, obtain significant and necessary capital, and ultimately transform into a nimbler retailer that serves heritage markets in a profitable manner. So Tuesday morning said they believe closing stores in low-traffic regions will help the company emerge from bankruptcy. They're closing 24 stores in Florida, and I'm looking at the list to see.
There's a bunch of them in our listening area.
All right, so I see that they're closing the one on Cortez Road in Bradenton. They're closing a Sarasota on Tamiami. They're closing a Venice on Tamiami. They're closing MLK here in St. Pete and the Gateway Market Center. What about Tampa? I don't see.
So Tampa, the one in Northdale, the Northdale Promenade location is closing.
They're closing that one?
The one in the Countryside Mall area on Countryside Boulevard is closing.
Really? What about Britton Plaza? Is that one still there?
Britton Plaza is not on the list. So
Are they still there?
It's not on the list of the ones being closed.
So let me tell you what used to go on with Tuesday morning.
The location in Seminole is going out.
My dad and mom, when they used to drive over from West Palm to come visit us, my dad used to go to Tuesday morning. He would come home with a car filled with like lampshades and throw pillows.
I mean, just
I'm like, what are you doing?
Random stuff.
Why are you buying lampshades? Oh, it's a great deal. I'm like, what? So my dad, for whatever reason, loved Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, what? Larry, why'd you buy 4 lampshades, Larry? We don't need lampshades. We've got lamps with lampshades.
Look at the price.
My dad is buying lampshades and throw pillows, and the whole freaking car is filled with it. It's like, what are you? My dad loves Tuesday morning. And now they're closing 24 stores in Florida, including a bunch here in the Bay Area.
You got to walk around a Tuesday morning. You never know what you're going to get there, man. It's really a good store.
What's the last thing you bought a Tuesday morning?
I bought a spatula there like 3 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, because they got like a homeware section, and they had like a really nice silicone spatula with a wooden handle. I still have it. It's great. It was like $2.99. How could I not buy it?
My dad's lampshades were $13.99.
Yeah, I know. What a great deal.
How could he not buy it?
How could I not buy it?
Unbelievable. All right, when we get back, there's word on Taylor Swift today. Taylor Swift news is coming up. What's going on with her? And I got Hollywood stuff. This is pretty, I got a yucky story, which is make your skin crawl. I got a lot of, I got a question for Roxanne. And Roxanne, you were hobnobbing with celebrities over the weekend, weren't you?
I wasn't hobnobbing.
You never, did you?
It was more of a sighting.
Was your trip over to the Bahamas, was this planned? Because you didn't bring this up to any. You mentioned to no one that you were going to the Bahamas on Friday.
I asked everybody in the room what they were doing over the weekend. I said, what are you guys doing this weekend? What are you doing, MJ?
And nobody asked you
back.
back.
Nobody asked me. So I said, I'm not telling you.
I'll just go to the Bahamas. I'm going to hang with Wayne Gretzky.
No, I didn't hang with them. There was a sighting.
Okay. All right. Hang on. A lot of stuff in the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show here on a Monday next here on Q105. So don't move. Taylor Swift is making the news. And this, of course, after the whole Taylor Swift ticket debacle and the whole Ticketmaster meltdown and the massive, massive problem that caused. There's something interesting. Now, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. You know, can I respect the fact that she is a talented musician? Can I respect the fact that she's a solid performer? Sure, I can. I'm just not, just personally for me, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. But you know what? Even though I had an issue with an interview with Taylor Swift years ago, and, well, we didn't quite get off on the right foot, I can still recognize that she is very talented.
She's an amazingly talented artist.
I can still point that out. And I'm still not going to shield the audience from the fact that what I've read over the weekend was pretty complimentary, even though Taylor and I are not the best of friends due to the, what was that, the 2011, 2012 incident? What was that?
I don't know that she even knows you exist.
She does. And, Taylor hates my guts.
She doesn't.
Taylor wants me to die.
No.
Stick a needle in my eye.
Maybe she does.
Who does she like worse? Or who does she dislike more, I should say? The guy who grabbed her butt?
Oh, yeah.
Or you?
No, I just had an interview with Taylor years ago where we had the first ever radio interview after the Kanye West incident, and she didn't want to talk about it. But that was the big story. And it didn't go well. She hung up on me. And anyway, but I still am the bigger person here. And I can point out here on the MJ Morning Show that the reviews so far for her concert is tremendous.
Yeah, it's an awesome concert from everything that everybody's published about it.
I'm looking at a headline here from Uprocks, and it says Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is the most impressive stadium show ever conceived.
Wow.
That's a pretty lofty claim, but I'm just pointing it out that I don't have any major animosity. I'm still saying she's very talented, and apparently, according to some early reviews, they're knocking it out of the park. Now, the first concert...
It opened up this weekend.
The first concert was the 18th, which was Saturday night in Glendale, Arizona at the State Farm Stadium in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, Phoenix area.
Glendale, Arizona is Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, that whole area there, Glendale. That's where the concert opened up. And the reviews are just tremendous. And even the first show where you typically work out some kinks, and that's probably why they picked Glendale, Arizona to work out some kinks, before they get to Tampa Bay. But I'm just pointing out that even though Taylor and I have had our problems in the past, I'm still recognizing that the reviews so far are phenomenal. Now, Fester, go back to the schedule.
All right, this is the first schedule. They've added dates since this. This was the first thing put out.
All right, so the 18th was Saturday night. When is the next show?
So this weekend, the 25th, is Las Vegas.
So wait a minute. They're only doing one show a week?
No, this is the original concert.
All right, so
they've added, each of these cities now have 2 and 3 locations.
Now, she's coming to Ray J. She's doing 3 shows, right?
Yeah.
She's doing April 13th, 14th, 15th. 3 shows in a row at Raymond James Stadium. And that's the only Florida stop, right?
Yes.
I don't think she's doing Miami or Jacksonville or Orlando. I think she's only doing Ray J.
Yes, the only Tampa location. I think it's the only
Florida location is what I said.
I think she's doing a show in Atlanta later in the month.
Yeah.
So she's doing a couple in the Southeast.
I'm just pointing out, though, and I'm being nice about this, that the review from show number 1 on Saturday night is tremendous. That every aspect, they say, let me read you a little chunk here and I know that for those that couldn't get tickets, I don't mean to rub it in, because there were people crying. There were people that would have rather lost a limb than not be able to get Taylor Swift tickets.
Yes.
Do you listen to her current music, MJ?
I'm sorry?
Do you listen to her current music?
I do not.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I've never been a big Taylor Swift fan. My girls love Anti-Hero. And then my favorite song is Snow on the Beach, but you have to be careful if you're listening to it with children, because there's a big old F word in it, really pronounced.
Well, not on the radio. If any radio stations are playing on the radio.
No, but you don't hear it on the radio. We just listen. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the Anti-Hero song is top song right now. It's going to be a huge concert. She's traveling all over the place. Like I said, 3 shows in Tampa in the middle of April. No tickets available by
They're just saying the set, the costuming, just every aspect. Every show of the tour will get a unique acoustic number performed at the end of the catwalk. For the kickoff in the Phoenix area, they got Mirror Ball. I don't know what I wouldn't know that if I fell over it. But Taylor never really lets the seam show in a performance. If you watch closely, you can catch bits of Deserved Pride shine through. During Delicate, she did a little skip into a twirl that ended up with a smile. Anyway, listen, the first review from Arizona from Saturday night is pretty good. And for those that are fortunate enough to get tickets, well, Tampa Bay, we've got 3 shows. What is it, the 13th, 14th, 15th?
Yeah, she's going to be in the Bay Area for 3 nights.
3 nights here in Tampa. I'm sorry, 14th, 15th. No, hold on, what night?
Thursday the 13th.
Yeah, I was right. All right, so
13th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 13, 14, 15 of April is when she is here. Hey, Roxanne, so you didn't tell us you jetted off to the Bahamas. You did. By any chance, were you hanging with, was this a Derek Jeter weekend
No, it wasn't.
again?
No, this is a
hold
Doug
on.
and Roxanne Have a Life.
This was Jeter free?
Yeah, it was just the two of us and Doug's business partner.
Don't act like you have a life outside of DJ.
Wow, so it's like Pepsi free? Do they still make that? It's like Jeter free.
It was, Doug goes to the Bahamas all the time.
Just for the taste of it, Jeter free. All right, so you go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And did you go with friends or just you and Doug?
Doug's business partner, who's a friend,
Right.
and some of his family members. It was his birthday. So we went down there and had an amazing time. Just 2 days without the kids.
And then you had lunch with Wayne Gretzky?
No.
So what's this Wayne Gretzky thing you sent me?
So this is what happened. So it was Sunday morning, and Doug was downstairs getting coffee, whatever he was doing. And he calls me back in the room and is like, Wayne Gretzky's down here. You want to come say hi? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm sleeping. Like, I'm away from my children. As much as no disrespect to the great one, but I prefer to lie in bed and get sleep. However, Doug failed to mention who Wayne was with, which I would have knocked him over to get to her because I am like obsessively stalkerish in love with her.
Wayne Gretzky was with whom?
His wife, which made sense.
What's her name?
Janet Jones.
I don't know who that is.
Janet Jones Gretzky. Okay, so you don't know who Janet Jones is?
I know who Jesus.
What?
I know who Jesus Jones is.
Are you kidding me?
Do you know who Jesus Jones is?
If he's related to Janet, then
No,
by proxy I do.
Nope, Jesus Jones is not related to Janet Jones. You don't know who Jesus Jones is?
No. Is he saying something?
Here,
Okay.
right now.
Yes.
That's Jesus Jones.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. So, Andrew found us some Jesus. You know this song, right? Da, 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 boom. Right here, right now. You know this song, right?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Andrew's skipping into here. Waiting for you. Waiting for you. Right here, right now. All right, so that's Jesus Jones. Tell me about Janet Jones.
Janet Jones is this amazing model actress. Back in the 90s, she had these workout tapes called The Firm. She was also in a movie, American Anthem, with, who was it?
All right, aside from being married to Wayne, she sounds like a very fringe celebrity.
Okay, I didn't say she was an A-list actress. I just said I love her.
The way you kind of put us together for not knowing who she is.
I'm sitting here wondering, oh my God, am I under a rock? I don't know who Janet Jones is.
So
you should know Wayne's wife, though. Wayne Gretzky's wife, Janet Jones.
Why should I know Wayne Gretzky's wife?
Other than the fact that Wayne played hockey, I know nothing about this man.
Andrew, how do they not know Janet Jones?
Who cares is the short answer.
I don't know who Janet Jones. Both Fester and I'm pretty plugged in. I'm sorry, I don't know who Janet Jones. Okay. So you wanted to knock Wayne Gretzky over to see his wife, Janet?
Yes, and that's no disrespect to him because he's amazing. He's a really nice guy. But when I found out that I miss seeing her, I've never met her, I would have gone crazy because Janet Jones did these exercise tapes called The Firm.
Yeah, so did Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
And Roxanne would probably turn
so
into a pilot.
So did Richard Simmons.
Oh my God, Richard Simmons was there?
Oh my God.
Now we're talking celebrities.
I'm gonna push Wayne Gretzky over to get to Richard Simmons.
How awkward would that have been? This person. Hey, I loved your workout tapes from 40 years ago.
No, seriously, listen, guys. Yeah, when I was in high school, I was like flat as a board. Flat as a board isn't even like like when someone says they're flat as pancakes, like I wish I had pancakes to shove in my bra when I was that age, like totally flat, right? And so Janet.
So you weren't even like a half stack?
No, not silver dollar pancakes.
Not even one silver dollar pancake.
No, not even like sand dollars that you find at the beach.
There was
which would be kind
Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity going on.
No,
with you.
nothing.
Okay.
So Janet kind of kept me in the game because I did her workout videos. And then she kind of kept me in shape because I did 45 minutes in the firm every day because I had to try to make something look good on me. Since
how old is she now? Is she like 70?
No.
Noah? Noah?
She is Janet Jones.
She's 62.
All right, well, there we go.
She's a beautiful woman.
Can I move along now?
Yeah, Roxanne.
So you just saw Wayne Gretzky and her?
No, I didn't see either of them. But if Doug had told me Janet Jones was that his wife was with them, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
All right, so Doug saw Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
And you didn't. Oh, I got it. Okay. All right, moving along here. Final minutes of the show here. Gwyneth Paltrow is not getting a good rap lately. She's got that Goop product line, but did you see what happened last week? I didn't get to it. It was in my pile, but like some images of Gwyneth Paltrow made the rounds in the news and on social media, and she just doesn't look good. She's attractive, but she just doesn't look healthy, I should say. She doesn't look like she's in great health. And I'm wondering, she's selling all these Goop products, and if pictures came out and she doesn't look good, I don't know if that's like the best, spokesmodel situation,
She's always been a beautiful actress. How does she look now? I haven't seen anything of her recently.
But then there's a Gwyneth Paltrow rectal ozone therapy hack.
Boy, she is all about down there.
What is rectal ozone therapy? What is this? Gwyneth Paltrow has once again shared a questionable wellness hack. Earlier this week, according to Women's Health magazine, the Goop founder appeared on Dr. Will Cole's The Art of Being Well podcast and had a controversial recommendation: rectal ozone therapy. I've used ozone therapy rectally. It's pretty weird, but it's been helpful.
Helpful to what?
What? Ozone? You think of like that ozone smell that you get from like some air purifiers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So wait a minute. Do you put an ozone generating air purifier up your butt? What do you do? What the hell is Gwyneth Paltrow rectal ozone therapy? What is this?
So I just am looking up ozone therapy in general, and it's all kinds of treatments. Treats arthritis, allegedly, disinfecting wounds, activating the immune system.
It says ozone is an inorganic molecule with one more oxygen molecule than oxygen itself. Simply put, oxygen has 2 oxygen molecules. Ozone has 3. Ozone can be extremely dangerous to human lungs if inhaled. Yeah. But what, it's okay to shove it up your butt?
I mean, you're not inhaling it. That part of the body has all kinds of gases you wouldn't want to inhale.
Ooh, what if the ozone gas mixes with sulfur gas?
What the heck? This is some crazy stuff. All right, so Gwyneth Paltrow.
It'd be like a fertilizer explosion.
Yeah.
Women's Health magazine is saying you might not want to try Gwyneth Paltrow's rectal ozone therapy hack or whatever.
She knows about everything in that area.
My God. Oh, I didn't get to this. Kenny G, ladies and gentlemen, and his clarinet is asking a judge to end his $40,000 a month spousal support to his ex-wife. Wow, Kenny G wants the gravy train to come to a stop, according to TMZ.
How long has he been paying it?
I had no idea that Kenny G was shelling out $40,000 a month to an ex-wife. Wow. He's saying enough is enough. Kenny's lawyer, Laura Wasser, filed documents Friday asking the judge to pull the plug on his monthly $40,000 spousal support obligation, saying it's become impossible to pay, and one big reason is COVID.
I guess he's not touring as much anymore. He's probably not making the money he was.
Wow. He was married to Lindy Benson for 21 years, has been paying her $40,000 a month since 2013. Oh, my God. $40,000 a month? What is it, like $500,000 a year? Wow. So there you have it. So I had no idea that Kenny G had a And a spousal support commitment to that degree. We got to roll. He can sell one of his clarinets, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He'll pay for this stuff. Anything else before we get out of here, guys?
That's it.
All right. Another successful MJ Morning Show in the can. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Remember to get a hold of me, MJ at mjmorningshow.com. The website is loaded. A lot of stuff up at mjmorningshow.com. And I think that's about it. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another spectacular MJ Morning Show program. And whatever you do, folks, please, let's be careful out there.